Another live stream. See, we got a comment here already. How's it going there, Mr. Williams, Johnny Williams? How long did it take? Shooting right from the get. That's how I like it here. How long did it take before you guys started receiving leads through Google or any lead generators that you use? Good question, actually. First and foremost, if you're tuning in while either this is live or once it posts to a actual video, my name is Griffin Thomas. For those of you that don't know, I'm the owner of Preferred Pest Management. We've been in business for about 3 years now, and on this channel I just kind of document my entrepreneurial journey, quote unquote. And on these live streams specifically, if you're seeing it post live, we just come live every so often to answer your questions. And I'll just get right into it since Johnny asked the question. Hopefully you're the one that's still tuning in here, Johnny. If not, if you're seeing this after, I already answered the question, just feel free to fire it again. But in terms of the Google, I'm assuming when you say through Google, you're referring to like your Google business profile, because of course, when it comes to Google, we have, and of course I brought the infamous whiteboard with me again today. So when it comes to Google, just want to make sure I'm writing this where you all are going to be able to see it all right. Let me get this in the actual view here. So I'll pull this guy right in here. There we go. So when it comes to Google, I'm assuming, Johnny, you're referring to, like I said, Google business profile. So when it comes to Google, because Google now has 3, technically 4 if you include YouTube, but we're not going to include YouTube, but 3 primary areas where you're going to be able to get business from. So let's just say we have Google, right? Or formerly known as Alphabet now. Google is the company in this case, right, where we're trying to get leads from. You would have down here, I'm just going to put GBP, that means your Google business profile. This is where we focus heavy on, because these are quote unquote free leads. When I say free leads, these are leads we're not paying for. Man, my G looks ugly over here. These are leads that we are getting just from strictly, our business profile listing. When you go on Google, you submit your business information, all that stuff. You're not just gonna get leads rolling in just from doing that, obviously. We'll dive more into this just a little bit if this is what you were referring to here, Johnny. The next thing that you have, of course, is LSA, Google Local Service Ads. So I'll put just LSA because that's what most people know it as. Google Local Service Ads are different from Google Ads, which we'll talk about in a second. Local Service Ads are very budget friendly when you're first getting started. It's very similar to like Angie leads, that kind of thing, where you're paying per lead. The beauty of Google Local Services, though, is they are not going to force you to pay up front. They're actually going to do it just like it's all connected to your Google Ads account. And then from there, as you rack up a balance, usually most businesses start between $300 to $500 in terms of like Google, not credit. But like they'll have you reach a balance and then pay it. You can pay it early if you wish, but usually they'll put you on like a $300 to $500 limit, and then they'll charge your card. Or if you don't hit that limit by like a 1 month rolling period. So if you open your account on the 1st, then the 1st of the next month they would charge you if you had like 200 or something, right? Below that, they'll charge you then. But that's great because, for example, when you're first starting your business, they are very, very friendly to the new businesses because they want to, keep more customers coming in just like us, right? It's just like whenever you run a sale for your services, you're trying to get new customers in the door, so you give them very good introductory rates, blah, 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 before you even consider raising the price on them. Same thing with local service ads. Well, a lot of times, even from my own business with our pest control business, Google only charged us as low as about $15 to $25 per lead. So this is per contact. this isn't, even if you miss a phone call, you're not being charged for that. The only time you're charged is if you pick up the phone or if someone submits a actual lead. If you have the form option on there, pro tip, don't just have the phone only option, because a lot of the people that are doing the form, they're just going down the list, and whoever's going to be the cheapest is who they go with. Or with the phone, we would close literally about 60 to 80% back when we were really using local service ads. They've been kind of so-so lately. They've gotten more expensive because we're no longer a new customer, but that is a very good option in the beginning stage in terms of budget friendly. And then of course, you have, just standard ads, Google ads, right? And of course, everybody knows Google ads, I'm sure. Trying not to block this whole thing for you all. We have Google ads where, your basic search ads, the search ads the ads can actually be in a lot of places now. We have videos on how to make sure that your ads only show up in Google search. If you haven't seen that video, definitely want to check that one out. It is slightly long, if I recall. I want to say it's one of our longer videos, like roughly 50 minutes overall, but it is a very informative video for how to, get your Google ad up and running, especially if you're a service business, like a pest control business, plumbing business, that type of thing. Because of course, we only want to show up in Google search on our ads, right? We don't want to be showing up just on random websites and stuff like that. We want to get the best, bang for our buck. But again, I'm assuming here you're talking about the Google business profile, Johnny. So long story short, like we said with Google, you do have 3 different outlets primarily where you could get business, especially for a service business, like we said, pest control business, plumbing business, any type of service business really. Of course, we have a pest control business primarily as our main money driver, quote unquote. And we use all of these, like I said, but we focus specifically on the Google business profile because of the massive opportunity to just continually drive. I hate using the word free because obviously there's no such thing as free leads, right? But if you get your profile optimized, you get your website optimized as well, because there's a lot of discussion right now as to how much does your website actually affect your Google business profile. And I can tell you directly from my own experience that I'm not going to say your whole website affects your Google business profile, but primarily what is in the heading, your menu essentially of your website, that matters a lot. So if there's one specific location you're really wanting to target, make sure that you have that in your menu somewhere, or maybe even in your footer, or maybe you have a a sidebar on your website. Those are the most important areas that Google looks at, specifically with the Google business profile. I noticed when we had roulette plastered everywhere, that's what got our rankings through the roof in our primary area of roulette. Now we're starting to play around with it, looking towards like Garland, Richardson, areas like that are more populated, so we can start really, building our, route density, so to speak. But in terms of answering the question, long story short, it took us, I would say, about once I actually learned what Google business profile was, how it could really transform my business, all that stuff, and we hit the ground running, I would say within about 3 months. Not even that. In all honesty, within about 30 to 60 days, I noticed a pretty big difference in terms of organic call volume. And then I would say it took about probably somewhere between 6 to 9 months to get to kind of where we're at today, where we're really just, practically every day we're getting organic calls from the Google business profile. So it's going to depend on your area. Like if you have an area where there's just not a lot of pest control companies and you go and put your pest control company on Google with a Google business profile, say there's only 3 companies, you're going to be in the top 3 from the get-go, right? But if you're in an area like us in the Dallas, Texas area where there's literally last I heard over 700 registered pest control businesses. Now this of course includes all the way down to the one-man show mom and pop who really doesn't have an online presence obviously, but Point being, lots of competition. It's going to take longer because you have to build up that reputation too. Google's not, no matter how much you optimize everything at the beginning, sure, it's going to help, but you're not going to just magically, within a 2-week period or even a 30-day period, just start leapfrogging companies that have been around, built a reputation for, decades. Now, you will, over time, as long as you focus on continuing to optimize this, specifically getting reviews over and over and over and over again, because like we mentioned, and we try to beat over your head here, review velocity is everything. Just getting reviews, that's not enough. You have to get reviews on a consistent basis. You can't just focus on getting reviews for a couple days. Once you get up to, say, 50 reviews, stop. You'll notice a major increase right from the get-go, but if you don't continue to at least get, say, a solid, on average, 2 reviews a week, you're gonna notice, one, you're not gonna move anymore, obviously, and in all honesty, you're gonna start losing some ground. I always notice if we go more than about 2 or 3 weeks without getting a review, our rankings will, not in our inner, within a 2 to 3 mile radius, they won't really drop. They may drop like 1 in a couple areas, but the areas where you're trying to really reach out, those plummet. You have to be getting reviews on a consistent basis. So I can't stress that enough. So like I said, if you're in a highly competitive area, if you do everything we talk about on this channel, you will start noticing some progress within about 30 to 60 days. And then your best progress will be after about 6 months or so and continuing. And then if you're in a low competitive area, if you do everything we talk about on this channel, which I know most of you are in higher competitive areas, you will probably, like me, take roughly 3 to 6 months to notice a very, very huge difference. And then the longer you just keep beating it, getting the reviews, continuing to optimize everything, you'll notice, like I said, a big influx of organic leads, which we love organic leads, right? Because say someone for some reason fucks up and doesn't answer the phone or something, or it takes an hour or 2 or half a day for some crazy reason to get back to a lead. Not to say that it doesn't matter, but you feel a lot better about missing that lead than missing a Google ad lead that cost you $100 to get, right? So hopefully that answers your question. If you're new, if you're just tuning in, I know we got more and more people tuning into the live stream. If you have any questions about growing your business, specifically online, that's where we primarily focus at, feel free to drop a comment down below. And if you're new to me, new to the channel, my name is Griffin Thomas. Of course, I'm the owner of the company Preferred Pest Management, as well as, which I haven't been advertising this a lot, but the digital Tradesman as well. Just started that one up recently. And we've been in business with the pest control business specifically for about 3 years now. Grew that company to over a 6-figure company, and just slowly but surely chomping at the bit on 7 figures as well. Like I said, we specialize specifically in getting leads and stuff through online, quote unquote, marketing. A lot of it specifically, like we've been talking about the first, 10 minutes roughly of the show, is through our Google business profile, as well as online organic website traffic. How's it going there, my world? Nice to see you this evening. And like I always say, if you have any questions, that's what these live streams specifically are about. I'm also going through, if you see me kind of looking away for a little bit, it's not that I'm just doing some BS stream or anything. I'm also making edits to our own website and also coming up with content for you guys, because I'm always figuring out how to, come up with new content and stuff for you guys along the way. Because yeah, the stuff is crazy out here. Like I always say, if I somehow had a channel or something to, know all this information versus having to just kind of figure it out on my own, then man, I'd be so far ahead. So hopefully you all are enjoying the stream. If you are, smash that thumbs up button. It lets me know that you guys like the live streams and whatnot. How's it going there? Salvador Mora. Man, I missed the $100 leads. Google local services running me 146. You're in California, if I remember right, aren't you, Salvador? Yeah, 146. Yeah, and that's why literally I actually have mine shut off right now. So I kind of lied a little bit. We're not really using LSA at the moment. This is kind of X'd out. Not to say again that we never do. If you're a beginner, like I said, be all over this. Don't even pay attention to the X right there. Be all over it, because I'm sure Salvador, I'm interested to know if you had the same experience as I did. When you first start with Google local service ads, they give you very, very generous pricing, to say the least. Man, when we first started, we were paying as low as, like I said, 15 to 20 bucks a lead. You just said you're paying 146. We've paid around, at the low end, 75, on the high end, about 108 bucks. So I'm interested to know, Salvador, if you also experience low pricing on LSA. Like I said, we're not running it right now, which is why I have the X through it, but I circled it and whatnot with that ugly circle, because if you're starting a new business, they will give you very good pricing. So if you're doing this along with this, calls are going to be coming in. And again, this one here, I'm going to rate these on a scale of like how long they take to start getting you business, and on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of how long they take. I'm not going to rate them like 1 through 3. I'm going to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being it takes the most work, like the longest. 1 being, hey, I mean, you fire it up and you'll start getting leads immediately. I would say this one by far, Google Business Profile, is going to take the most. I'll rate that as a solid 8, I would say. I need to redraw that 8. That's an ugly 8 right there. Give it an 8. Local service ads, in all honesty, I'll give that a 2.5. How about that? And then Google ads, I'll give it a 4. Yeah, I'll give it a 4. Maybe a 5. We'll just say 4 to 5. And I'm interested to know what if you all have any experience with any of these platforms. Let me know in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, how long in terms of work, effort, time would you rate? Like I said, 10 is the highest, meaning it takes the most work. 1 to 2 means it doesn't really take much work, and it's a little bit quicker. Salvador said, Cali, awesome. AdWord is averaging around 115 and dropping. That's interesting. That kind of makes sense too with I always notice this is the time, which you just confirmed it. Let me finish your comment first, because I don't want to speak too soon. LSA, we started hard in April. April had like 50 leads, probably around $70. And that's still higher than what I remember, but I know it's going to be different too, of course, per area when you're first getting started. Of course, everything out there in Cali tends to be a little more inflated, to say the least. But that would still even equal to about 55 out here. So, okay. Let's see, CPL turned it up every month while volume dropped. Having trouble getting 10 now. Yeah. Lots of companies. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And the one thing though, when you say AdWords is dropping, like $115 and dropping, I am kind of noticing we're not running a Google Ads campaign at the moment. We're actually getting ready I'm really debating running a Facebook ad one for a promo, like a late summer promo. But in terms of the Google AdWords, like the ads dropping in price is what $115 and dropping. I think it's more money going into ad versus leads available. Yeah, Google local services. Yeah, I feel like a lot of companies are going all in on that, specifically the big companies right now, because they just want to be at the top of Google. If you haven't been on Google in a while, which I know most of you probably have, obviously, but if you haven't searched for like a service or any type of service company on Google lately, you have the Google local services. It's now at the very top, and then Google Ads, and then the map pack. Now, the one thing I am noticing, which is why we've been focusing on Google Business Profile so much, is a lot of people, at least in my area, in the Dallas, Texas area, a lot of people, they just scroll right by whatever's on the top. They know anybody that's at the top in terms of the local services, the ads, they know that's all paid for. So they just immediately scroll right to the map pack. And then from there, if you are at least rated at 4, preferably 3, because if you pay attention to the Google map pack, I'll go ahead and erase this. Hopefully you all kind of got the point with that visual. I'll erase this. When it comes to the Google map pack, and again, this is kind of basic right here, but for anybody that, you know, just doesn't quite understand what I mean by the map pack. So when you have, you know, your Google search, we'll just type, you know, search up here. You know, this is your little, give us a little search icon, little bubble. Here's your, you know, your generic little search, right? You'd have LSA at the top. You know, there's going to be what? Usually, depending on if you're on a desktop or not, anywhere between 2 to 3 listings at the top. Then you're going to have ads. You're going to have like ad 1, ad 2. So here's like your first 3 listings essentially right from the get-go. And then right under that, you're going to have the Google Map Pack. And the Google Map Pack, you know, it's going to be kind of like this. There'll be some kind of little map right here. And then you'll have 3 listings right here. So you'd have Pest 1, Pest 2, Pest 3. They're going to show you 3 companies in that Google Map Pack. And obviously, this is where you want to be, right? You don't want to be off this list. You want to be between here and here. The difference is here costs money, here free. It doesn't cost anything to get placed in this map pack. And there'll be people, you know, of course, there's the quote-unquote SEO experts that offer the local SEO services. Hell, even I technically offer SEO services. If you check out our website, digitaltradesman.com, technically I even offer it. Just because, I mean, if somebody doesn't want to do the work, I mean, we'll do it for you. But I literally stress to you guys that you can do this stuff. You just have to essentially watch my shit, to be honest. Like, I hate to like say it like that. It's not that I'm wanting, like, telling you guys for clout or anything to go watch my videos. It's just I literally tell you guys how we get into the top 3 within, right now we're in the top 3 about a 5-mile radius essentially. There's a couple little dots. We use a tool. We used to use Bright Local. We now use Local Falcon because it's cheaper and much better so far from what I've experienced with it. I'll do a video so you guys can see how that looks on Local Falcon, but essentially it will show you a bunch of dots on a map, and you'll see literally where you show up on this Google Map Pack. It'll show 1 through 20, and then it'll say 20 plus if you're just not ranking in the top 20. Because of course, if you're not in the top 20, it doesn't really matter where you are. You're never going to be seen at the end of the day. In all honesty, if you're not at least in the top 8, you're probably never going to get a single lead from that area. But this is free. It just takes work. So right now, we're really not focusing on any of this right now. We've been focusing hard on this for, oh man, just over a year now. We've been really focusing on it, and it's driving us on average about 30 leads a month. If I were to put like an average on it, there's some months it's like 20, 25. There's some months it's like 40 to 50, but on average it's probably around 30 leads a month. And it's like, what would you do? How much better of a position would your company be if you got 30 leads per month that you're not really paying for outside of simply asking for reviews at every single stop you come in contact with? And where was I going with that train of thought? Oh, and optimizing, your page, your website, all of that stuff. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. If you guys want to take a screenshot of that because you don't, like I said, all you got to do is type in any type of service near me and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about right here. You'll see the local service ads at the top. You'll see your 2 ads. And then, of course, you'll see the map pack. The map pack is where we've been focusing on a lot with our company. And in all honesty, if it wasn't for that, we would have probably about 10%. I'm not even exaggerating. 10% of the leads that we've gotten this year. Literally, even if I pull up my Gorilla Desk, let me pull up my Gorilla Desk right now. I see I got some comments too. I will respond to you guys here in just a second. My Gorilla Desk will tell me exactly. Let's go down to new customers. So to be exact, okay, here we go. To be exact, 53.9% have came from my Google business profile in Rowlett, Texas. 5% have came from our Plano, Texas location, which is no longer open. I shut that location down. It's not like there was employees or anything. It was just to get the listing. It was like advertising costs for us. So that's what, pretty much 59% right there. Let's see. Our website was 27.7%. So yeah, you're literally talking almost right at 85 to 90% of leads coming from our Google business profile on our website. And when I say website on here too, I need to go in here and reconfigure this, because now with our new tool that we created with our instant price tool along with CallRail, we can actually see, did they click on our website from our Google business listing? Or did they actually find our website through the website search, right? Because right below, I should have kept that up, because right below Google Maps, you have all the websites. That's where you're checking out your website rankings and all of that. We now have it to where we can see, hey, did they actually find us in the search, or did they click on our homepage? Because if you haven't made a Google business profile yet, you put, of course, all of your information, your website to your homepage. Little SEO trick for you guys: if you're wanting to try to rank within your main city immediately, instead of putting your homepage on that, put the actual city location service page. Like, for example, our home location is Rowlett, Texas. Instead of putting the homepage, if we were not ranking well, since we're just starting in business and whatnot, hypothetically, we would put our Rowlett, Texas homepage, or not homepage, location page instead of our homepage, if that makes sense. Little hack for you all there who are, just starting. But yeah, so this is actually going to change. If I were to say at least 50% of those website leads came from Google business profile as well, if not more, probably closer to 3/4 of them, but we'll just say half. So that's another roughly 14%. So 14 plus 5, that's 19, plus 54, that's 72%. So not quite 90, but pretty much 3 out of 4 leads are coming at zero cost outside of our basic, website hosting costs. And of course, time, like I said, time, energy, etc. That of course isn't free at the end of the day, but when you're first starting your business, what are you going to have a lot of? Time. If you're like me, at least, you're going to have a lot of time, because of course you don't have any customers unless if you purchased another company when you first started. So yeah, let me get to these comments here. AdWords just went live mid last month, since Google local services was so good, didn't really need. Yeah, that's the problem that I ran into. Let's see, you manage to make Facebook ads work. So usually no. Usually, like I mentioned on the channel, a lot of times when it comes to Facebook ads, I don't really like them. There are times of the year they're really cheap though, especially when you're being charged per impression, which I believe most, if not all, Google or Facebook ads are impression based in terms of the charge. They don't like charge per click. You can set it up where you're charged per lead, which I don't suggest when making a Facebook ad. We do it based on impressions though. And there's times of the year where it's a lot cheaper. Right now, July and August tend to be those times. Late August, it tends to go back up because you have a lot of ads coming in for like back to school, fall sales, this and that and the other. But late July, early August, that like 1 month right now is when Facebook ads tend to be a little cheap, is what I've noticed the past couple years. So a lot of times I'll do it more so for branding. Now I am focusing, assuming we do go ahead and go through this Facebook ad that I've been creating this week, assuming I decide to go ahead and push the trigger on that one, I'll let you guys know. I'll even do like a screen recording showing you guys how I made it and all this stuff. But I'm trying to make it a lot better. I know from a tracking standpoint on the website backend, it's going to be a lot better because when I was running Facebook ads a year or so ago, or earlier this year, last year, whenever it was, I couldn't really tell if we were getting any real traffic or not. Facebook was telling me we were. They'd be like, oh, you got X amount of link clicks and blah, blah, blah. But it didn't result in any leads at the end of the day. Plus, I know a lot more about the whole targeting, the right audience. When it comes to Facebook, it's a lot different than Google. With Facebook, it's going to sound sexist, but it is what it is. You want to target just women. Go ahead and start casting stones if you wish. It is what it is. Let's be real. In today's society, women, one, they're on social media more. Two, they're easier to sell to traditionally. Three, in today's society, they tend to wear the pants in the house and make decisions. So you gear your social media ads more towards women from the pest control advertising side of things. That's pest control specifically. And then Google ads, you target men and women. But with social media specifically, we noticed a lot more success when targeting middle-aged married women between the ages of, what age have we been, like, because I've been setting it up literally the past 24, 48 hours. I want to say between the ages of 25, maybe 28, and 48, like right around that age essentially. And it does, hopefully, like I said, I'll definitely keep you guys updated, assuming I pull that trigger on doing that. But like I said, like I was referring to, we use it more so for brand awareness. With this campaign though, I want more than brand awareness. I want to drive sales from that ad, because I hear from people all around the US that, more people than not say they don't work for them, but the people that say it does work for them, they're getting like crazy low numbers in terms of cost per acquisition. They're talking like $12 a lead, $12 to $15 per lead, and like $25 to $45 per actual, acquisition. Like just ridiculously cheap. If you know anything about ads and whatnot, like I'm sure Salvador, you do, you know that I would just shit. Pretty much any sale that would come from that ad, I'd be pumping right back into that bad boy, right? So yeah, hopefully, like I said, I'll keep you guys updated on that. How's it going, Tyler? Not a pest professional, but I spray bifenthrin IT. Oh, bifenthrin IT around my house outside. It keeps spiders, my main concern, the way you ever use bifenthrin IT. So yeah, I do have bifenthrin IT, and it's pretty cheap too on top of that. The only thing I don't like about it is it breaks down very easy, especially in the sunlight. So you usually have to apply it once a month, if not more frequently, to be honest. But yeah, it definitely does work decently for spiders. The best chemicals for spiders are going to be micro-encapsulated chemicals. The quote-unquote best one, it's up for debate, but Demand CS, What's the one that I love the most? Onslaught Fast Cap. That's the one that I love the most for spiders. I spray that around my own house even. Let's see. My World says, how do you optimize your Google business profile in the map pack? And I do have videos about that too, My World. I don't know if you maybe seen them or not, but if I were to make a quick list of how to optimize, and what'd you say down there, Salvador? I'd pull my, yeah, right, for real. Yeah, that ain't no joke. Let's see. Kind of moved it on you guys. Look good right there. Okay. So if I were to put, Google business profile optimization. If I even spelled that right. Google business optimization. If I were to kind of make a list in terms of how you want to optimize or how you can optimize your Google business profile very quickly, the first way is going to be update NAPs. And if you're wondering what NAPs are, NAP is just an abbreviation. It means name, address, phone numbers. You're going to want to update this. You're going to want to make sure that you have, I guess I can even put off to, right up here, citations. That's what a lot of people refer to them as. What your citations are is how your business appears online, because when you make your Google business profile, one way that Google is going to check and make sure that, hey, is this a legit business, is they're going to check your citations or your NAPs, whatever you want to refer to them as. That is, where's your business listed across the web, and does everything match up? This is why a lot of people just call them NAPs for short, because it's your business name. Is it the same that you told Google it was? Is your address showing up the same as what you told Google it was? Regardless if you're going to show your address or put it as a service area business, you still have to tell Google your address so they'll verify your business. Is that the same? And then is the phone number the same as well? Or is the phone number different? The phone number is where we tend to get in trouble because we use CallRail for the call tracking. Pretty much every business does, though, especially in our industry and most service area business, as a matter of fact. So don't worry about the phone number quite as much. As long as, for the most part, across the web, the numbers are looking the same. Google knows that we use tracking numbers. I mean, they're not stupid, guys. So don't worry about that so much. The main thing is your name and address showing up the same across the web. So you're probably wondering, well, what kind? So of course the basic ones are going to be Facebook, Apple Maps, Yelp, Angie's. The only thing with Angie is you have to pay for. I'm not paying them con artists, but any type of directory that you can get your hands on, do it. Yellow Pages, they have a website that you can publish to. There's also companies that will do this for you. SEMrush, actually, the company we use for our website, SEO, check-ins, all that type of stuff. They have a tool in there. It was badass, actually, as a matter of fact. It's worth a free trial just to do this alone, because when we moved, we had to update, our address, right? Well, what I was reading amongst other SEO experts is, hey, before you change your address on your Google business profile, make sure that you update your address everywhere else. You'll have a much better chance of them verifying it right away without sending another postcard. So I went into SEMrush, had them updated. They updated it in 75 different citations across the web. I did all this in one night, did that, and then I updated our Google address. Boom. It was literally verified. They didn't make me do another postcard or anything. I was amazed, to be honest. With the issues we had with Google in the past, I was amazed that it did it, but they updated the address literally the same night. So definitely, that's a pro tip for you guys. If you end up moving your address, get your citations, NAPs, whatever you refer to them as, get those updated first, then hit up Google about your address. And I'm wondering too, I didn't even think about this. For those of you that will be starting a business, you may even want to do this before opening the Google business profile. Now, if it's too late, it is what it is. If you're already verified, it's not a big deal, but I am interested as to how that would work. I'm going to have to do some digging into that, but that is the easiest way right from the get-go, because if one, it's going to show more credibility to Google. Still answering your question there, my world. It shows Google credibility, plus you're going to get a lot of backlinks to your website from these citations, from these directories. And again, back to that little hack, that local SEO hack I was telling you all about. If you're trying to rank in a specific area, usually this primarily is only going to work for like your city, like where your business is located on Google. But say you're not ranking well in that city right now, like we said, set this website that you're telling all these directories you want a backlink to, put it on the actual location page. Your home page is, to be honest, it's just a giant directory of your website at the end of the day. And if your business is in business for the next 100 years, yeah, your homepage will be just like Terminix and Orkin, your main ranking page. But for us smaller companies that are newer, have little to no domain authority, like my domain authority right now, depending on where you look, is between an 8 to 15. Like, to put in perspective, Terminix's domain authority, last I checked, was 67, which is the highest in the pest control industry as far as I know. It's very hard, and it takes a long time to get domain authority. So this is the easiest way. Second way to optimize your Google business profile, reviews. Obviously, we could hit on that all day. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Like we say, it's not just reviews, but remove the S, review velocity. What does review velocity mean? Again, it just means get reviews over and over and over and over. Don't get them all in one day or 1 week. Like, obviously get them. I'm not saying like, oh man, I've already gotten like 7 reviews this week, let me not ask for any more reviews. Like, no, keep asking for them, but try to, at least over the long haul, keep getting at least 1 to 2 reviews a week. It doesn't even sound like a lot, right? But think about it. Say you get 2 reviews a week. That's 100 and what? Can't even do basic math right now. 104 reviews over a period of a year. And then say you get a couple weeks in there where you get 5 and 10 and so on, because you have a big sales month or whatever. And you see how this can really compound, right? So from your overall review standpoint, that's good. And then also you meet that review velocity, of course. So citations, review velocity, utilizing, I'm not even gonna put the word utilizing, but we'll just say FAQ. And FAQ, it sounds kind of basic and like, what are you talking about? But if you scroll down on your Google business profile, you'll see where people can ask questions. Again, little tip here, log in to, your spouse or just some random Gmail account and go in there and just ask questions that people will be asking about pest control or about your business, and answer those questions as the owner. That, believe it or not, it's not something that's going to just boom shoot you up the list or anything, but you're satisfying Google because 1, your response rate is high, 2, you're answering questions that are commonly asked. If you're wondering, what are commonly asked questions, just type in on your phone or on your laptop, pest control near me, scroll down, Google shows a little section that says frequently asked questions, something like that, and then you'll see literally what people near you are searching for. So FAQ, this is one, like I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, importance-wise, this is like a 3 out of 10. It's nothing that's going to be groundbreaking, but it's something you definitely want to do. I know there's something important that I'm missing here. Of course, you want to do the updates. And I'll put this as like posts. However, when I say post, ugliest scribble in the world. When I say posts, I do not mean social media posts. It is so annoying. Even when I use ChatGPT, it'll get annoying at times because it thinks I'm meaning like a social media post, even when I'm clearly telling the damn thing a Google business profile post. So, little tip, when you're using ChatGPT to make these update posts, just tell it, I need you to make a post less than 500 characters on, whatever subject you're going to post. The beauty of these is you can link, your web pages of your service pages, either your service pages, any service page, any page you want on your website. But the beauty of it is you can actually utilize this to tell Google, hey, we service Dallas, Texas. We service Saxe, Texas. We service, you can plug in the specific service location that you want Google to know that you service. You can plug in keywords. This is a very underutilized. I literally go through and check my competitors probably 2 to 3 times a week, and no one's posting as much as me. Funny I say that because I haven't even posted since like July 8th. I've been kind of slacking on scheduling my posts. You all know, if you've been tuning in the channel for a while, we use Loomly for our post scheduler. They're like one of the only social media schedulers who, at least back when I was looking for them almost a year ago, who offered Google Business Profile post scheduling. So it's awesome. If you want to know more about that, I have a video somewhere in this channel from like February about, what is Loomly. But it makes it very easy. It makes it where, in all honesty, I have no excuse to not post on my social or on my Google Business Profile, as well as our social accounts, because we have our other business accounts linked, like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff linked in there. It'll post everything at once. You just schedule it, set it, and forget it. But back to my point, it blows my mind. Literally none of my competitors update their posts. Like the most recent one who caught my attention because he is at least getting a shit ton of reviews. Like this dude just popped up on my radar back in like March, and I watched him go from like 22 reviews to like last I looked 114. Now I will say, I see what he did, and Google actually, I think, kind of got him for it. He was a lawn care business first, so he went and got a bunch of his lawn care customers to leave pest control related reviews on his pest control business. I think Google kind of caught on because he went from up there with me. He's in Rowlett, literally like a mile or 2 down the road from me. He went from damn near pushing me to number 2 in a couple spots to all the way back down to number 3, number 4. So I think he did something that kind of pissed Google off there. But point being, he hasn't even posted since May. He posted on Mother's Day. Again, these are not freaking social media posts, people. Do not post, like, I get it, like, we all want to say, like, Merry Christmas, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. No one gives a shit when they're going on Google looking for pest control about your Merry Christmas post. Utilize this for what it's for. Tell people about your service. Tell people why they need to go with you for their pest control. Give them the web page that they're looking for. Make it as easy for them as possible. Even Google's like, what the fuck? Well, what are you doing? Why are you posting this shit? Like, this isn't for social media. This isn't Facebook. This is Google, right? So that's another tip there. Let's see. How's it going, Todd Petty? Did you ever try to run a giveaway for brand awareness and to get emails to market to? So that's actually, it's funny you brought that up. My cousin actually did this because we both have pest control businesses. He started his, about 4 months or so after I did, 4, maybe 6, somewhere around there, 3 to 6 months after I did. And he actually ran a giveaway. It got him a lot of Facebook traffic because he actually did it social media wise. Did a little thing where it did a, spin the wheel or whatever, and it landed on a random contestant, and then they got the free service for a year. Surprise, surprise, that customer did not even renew after the first year, right? But I just kind of watched how it all unfolded for him, and he was like, yeah, I'll never do that again. But I get what you're saying about the whole email thing though, because you can utilize those emails for email marketing or even phone numbers, whatever the case may be. I feel like it's one of them things where if it's done right, it can definitely boost sales. And I've even ran I don't even like it. I haven't published it yet because I feel like it's pushing the border of my morality in terms of like a quote unquote how to phrase a sale. But like how I sell my services right is we do either monthly billing or yearly billing. You can do pay as you go if you wish. I have a couple people that do it, and I try every time I go out there to get them to switch. I'm like, dude, you're literally spending double the money. Like, what are you doing? But some people just like that control at the end of the day. But back to what I'm talking about with the ad that we're actually looking at pushing. I was thinking about phrasing the ad because how it works is say, and hopefully this isn't everything, by the way. I could list 20 things on here. This alone, though, is a hell of a start and will put you ahead of 90% of your competitors. Like I said, I could go on and on, but I want to just show you guys a breakdown because Todd Petty? Yeah. Todd asked about, kind of like an ad, so to speak. And I'm just kind of giving you all a glimpse of kind of the info on the ad that we're looking at right now as an example. And would you say also, my world, thank you. If it's not social media posts, what's an example of what? Okay, so yeah, hopefully I kind of answered that. If I didn't, let me know. We just posted an update on our blog post, how to get rid of ants. Is this a Yeah. So especially as long as you structured that blog post how we've talked about, the whole silo structure, what I've been beating everybody over the head on for a little bit now. As long as you structured that link right and it links all the way up to either a service page or a service location page, then yeah, no, that's totally fine. And either way, the post itself is still optimized over, ant control, how to get rid of ants, stuff people are searching for, right? So yeah, no, either way, it's just a matter of, is it a win-win or is it a win nothing, like win neutral? So hopefully that helps. So like I said, long story short, how people can pay is essentially, $40 times 12 months. And this is just a rough example. This isn't like, we don't do just total flat rate pricing or anything like that. But $480 plus tax, because in the good old state of Texas, for some ungodly reason, we have to charge sales tax on pest control. It's not every service, or like in Texas, you have to charge it on pest control, but not all services in terms of just service businesses. Pest control specifically is one of the few services that have to charge sales tax. I've had a question on that on the YouTube channel before, so I wanted to clarify that. But so they can pay $480 plus tax for the year in this example, or you can pay $129 plus tax, then $40 plus tax per month going forward. So I'm sure most of you, being businessmen and businesswomen, can obviously see real quick that, hey, within that first year, they're going to end up paying almost $100 more, right? Exactly. That's why, like me personally, I don't care. I mean, if you don't want to pay me for the year, I'll take more money. I don't care. Obviously, I prefer this because we're locking them in for the full year. It's a win-win. You're getting a better price. We're getting you for a full year. And we're still getting $120 in that example, per service. So you're not really, as the business, like losing money or anything like that. It just gives them a better deal. So the ad that I'm looking at running is saying, get your first service for free when you sign up for the whole year. So how are they getting the whole, how does it work out where you're getting your first service for free? Again, I don't really like it. That's why I haven't even pulled the trigger on it yet, because it just doesn't feel right to me. The wording of it feels like some slimy Terminix stuff. Because you're saving that $129, all you're paying for is the remaining services over the year. I wouldn't tell them that it's technically 40 over 12. It would turn into, you know, you just say that's the yearly amount. You're just saying that the first service is, like, they don't know this breakdown. You know, you're not really telling them that breakdown. You're just telling them that, hey, it's normally 129 plus tax to get started with us. And then an additional, you know, whatever amount that you want to tell them per month going forward. But if you end up just going ahead and signing up today, it's going to be $480 plus tax. So again, it's kind of manipulation. I mean, that's what sales is at the end of the day too. Like, there's always some kind of either word manipulation, psychological manipulation. I don't do the whole psychological manipulation. I hate that form of sales. I can tell immediately when it's being done to me, so I don't do it like to anybody else. Plus, I think it's like old, outdated shit. But I'd be lying to you all if I told you all I don't manipulate, you know, the words in terms of the actual, how the numbers look. And even that, even in today's world, like, there are people that are smart enough that they're like, hold on, like, something's not adding up here. So, you know, if you're gonna go that route, do it with caution. Like I said, I don't even think that we're, like, the more I think about it, I don't think we're gonna run that sale. I think I'm gonna call it what it is. You know, get $100 off 1 year of pest control service. But I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I'll keep you guys updated about that in terms of that. And then, yeah, that kind of was a little tangent off what Todd Petty was asking about. But yes, Todd, well, no. To answer your question, no. I've never done it, but will I do it? Probably. I probably will. It'd probably be something that I would run in the winter specifically, you know, when the whole pest control sales is kind of down. You know, it is what it is. It's a slower season. It's mostly rodents and German roaches in the winter, right? It's not something that I would run in the spring or summer ever. It'd be something that I run either in the winter or maybe during a recession. I doubt it, but, you know, maybe during a really bad recession. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, I already addressed that. So hopefully you guys are liking the stream so far. If you are, smash that thumbs up button. It lets me know that you guys like this type of content, like this style format, you know, doing the live stream. I'm trying to do different. I actually kind of like doing this type of live stream. I don't have to stand up, because usually where I do it is right here. And of course we got the board over there too, doing the live stream for you guys. But I'm trying out different formats of doing the live stream for you all. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it so far. And as always, we just erased everything that was up there. If you have any questions about, you know, starting or growing your business, or specifically, you know, pest control business, because that of course is what we kind of specify in specifically, how to start and grow a pest control business, just shout it out in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer it. One other, I also usually have like some either questions memorized from you guys, like questions that I get over and over. I'm blanking on one that I just had literally within the last 24 hours from a newer viewer. At least I think it was a newer viewer. I think your name was Spencer maybe. And I'll probably even do a short for you because he was watching my shorts. Which let me know in the chat too. Do you all like the short form content, like doing shorts, TikTok, like that kind of thing? Like the whole, you know, under a minute type of video clips. Do you all like that type of content, or do you prefer, you know, kind of the longer form content like these streams or like the other videos that we tend to publish over here? I'm interested because a lot of people are saying that no one likes long form videos anymore. No one likes live streams. Everybody likes short form under a minute. So I'm interested as to what you guys think. Or are you like me and you're like, I like it all. Like, I think there's a time and a place for short form content. I think there's a time and a place for, you know, live streams like this, you know, where we're actually breaking stuff down, doing live like Q&As and stuff. And then there's a time for the long form videos where you're kind of, you know, teaching the shorts. or not teaching the shorts, teaching. I was reading your comment, my world, while I was trying to get my thought out. Teaching, something. It says real men like short shorts. Yeah. But no. I'm trying to think of that question that Spencer, I believe his name was Spencer, asked. Usually I write down the ones that I definitely want to get to, but again, with adjusting our live stream setup, I did not get that in front of me. So if Spencer, if you end up seeing this live or you're watching after it goes up, just let me know what it was and I will definitely ask or answer. Let's see, I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. And we talked about Bifen IT. Gosh, I cannot believe it. It still annoys me that I forget what Spencer was asking a little bit or earlier today in the shorts. Man, I just totally blanked. And I'm trying to think of other questions. And like I said, it looks like about 10 of you tuning in right now. If you have any questions right now, do not be shy about asking them in the chat below. What type of questions you have about starting or growing your business. If you're wondering what I do have up here, I always keep this up here, the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, the how. When it comes to creating your content, you're always going to be answering some type of question like that. How's it going? Positive Vibes DIY. Hey man, thank you so much for all of the great advice. In the middle of creating an SEO website for my pest control business. Awesome. Yeah, do you have any questions about that? We've actually been talking about it a little bit tonight. One thing that I've actually been doing tonight, because I try to do this at least once or twice a week, is I literally will, let me unplug everything here because we're not doing a stream from my laptop anyways. One thing that I'm doing this evening is I'm actually going over, our Google Search Console. Probably hard to kind of see anything with that reflection, but our Google Search Console updated ranking, seeing, what kind of movements that we have going on. One thing that I have noticed specifically over the last 3 months is we have gone from across the entire website from an average ranking. This was June 17th, literally just June 17th, so a little over a month ago. Our average ranking dropped all the way down to 64.5. That's page 6. It shows you how much I was focusing on the Google Business Profile and how little I was paying attention to keeping up on the website stuff, right? Dropped all the way down to 64.5. And that's when I knew, because what was I still doing though? I was still pumping out blog posts. So I was like, something is totally wrong with how I'm doing blog posting. And that is when I came across, I've shouted him out a couple times, but Chris Palmer SEO caught me on the idea of the whole website silo structure, which I won't bombard you all with that stuff again. But once I started getting that stuff slowly but surely right, we've been going up ever since. Right now, as of Wednesday, yesterday, our average web page ranking across our entire website, again, just on June 17th, we were at 64.5 for average position with only 138 total impressions on that day. Yesterday, we hit an average position ranking of 37, which still isn't great. We're slowly but surely staircasing our way up. And we had just right at 200 impressions with 3 website clicks on top of that for an average CTR. Not very great still, in my opinion, right at 2%, 1.8 to be exact, where on June 17th, 0 clicks, 138 impressions, 0% CTR, 64.5. That's the lowest over the last 3-month period that I can tell. But just listen to some of these rankings. May 7th, 59.7. May 21st, 56.9. June 7th, 58.3. June 11th, 63.4. We were constantly between 50s and 60s. Now we're all the way up over the last week, 34, 45, 41, 44, 40, 39, and then yesterday 37. And if I look at most recent today, because that actually just uploaded 4 hours ago, 39.7. So back-to-back days of now in the 30s at least. So it's slowly but surely, you know, and that's for the entire website. So that factors in all of the horrible ranking blog posts that were still in the process. Because like I said, I had about 70 of them, 70 or 80 of them that I'm having to literally copy them, paste them in the right silo structure, delete the old blog post, set up a redirect to the new blog post for the old URL. You know, it's a whole process. It takes a bare minimum, assuming you make no edits to the content, 10 to 20 minutes per article to, you know, fix it, so to speak. And then, of course, if you're going to edit it, because there are a lot of articles that we do edit, because I look at them and I go, ooh, God, this would rank bad, you know, regardless, right? The main thing that I do when it comes to our Google Search Console, which I'll do an updated video of how I break down my Google Search Console, how I look at it. The main thing that I do is I make sure we're looking at search type, web, date. We'll hop back between most recent 7 and 28 days, and then occasionally we'll pop out to the 3 months to get a broader look at it. But we'll stay within those primarily, and then make sure your country is set on US, because at first, when you first load up Google Search Console, it will not even show anything in terms of country. You'll have to click the little add button to add new. That's where you'd set your filter to US for your country, and then you're seeing more accurate data. From there, we scroll down, we type in, or not type in, I want to go to the last 7 days just to give you all a quick example. From there, we scroll down, it'll give you a list similar to this of all of your web pages and stuff like that that have had some sort of impression. From there, we click the drop down on impressions because we want to see the web pages that are getting the most impressions. For example, Pest Control Frisco, Texas has had 134 impressions over the last 7 days, but our average ranking is only 52. Why? Because I haven't optimized that page. I have 0 content right now supporting that page in terms of topical authority. So of course that's not ranking well, but it lets me know once we get everything sorted out. I keep track of this to know, okay, which location pages do I want to spend the most time, money, and attention on? Obviously, Frisco, Texas, Plano, Texas, Garland, Texas, Richardson, Texas. Those are our top 4 in terms of impressions over the last 7 days. They combine for almost 400 impressions. So obviously I want to focus on those. Their average rankings, 45, 33, 60, and 52. So obviously you can tell if I start getting those optimized, that's going to be a lot of leads coming in. And the ones that are and then a lot of times I'll click impressions, or not impressions, but position to see which are ranking the best and see where we're getting our highest CTRs from and all that. For example, our Contact Us page has a 4.5% CTR over the last 7 days with an average position rank of 3.5, less than 3.5, 3.3 to be exact. So that lets me know that our Contact Us page is overly optimized. I don't even necessarily want my Contact Us page really ranking, to be honest, unless if it's a breadcrumb. And yeah, it's just, there's a lot of good information here, so I'll definitely do another video, like an updated video of how to actually analyze your information in Google Search Console as well. Let's see, it says, thank you, that was the video I watched as well. Awesome. How's it going? Is this Laughed Aloud right here, I believe? If so, long time no see. Finally caught up with. Okay, yeah. That is, yeah. I remember you, man. Yeah, I miss your live trading back in the day. Very happy for you finding success in pest control. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And I do plan on long term doing some more stock market stuff because I like it. It's kind of more of like a hobby for me. I hate to say that because it's not a hobby, but it's something that I actually enjoy to do. So that is something that long term, once I'm kind of maybe more hands off on the actual pest control, I'll never be hands off. Let's be real. I'll either be, in this website stuff or whatever the case may be. I'll be hands off on the field stuff, but I'll never be completely hands off until, if I decide to sell the business, which you never know. If you get a offer big enough that you just, for your family, just can't pass up on, gotta do what you gotta do. I always tell my wife, that number for me is $50 million. I want to get to 100 million, but if I can get to $50 million and someone actually offers it, unless if our money becomes totally worthless, right? We could go off on a rabbit hole there. But yeah, I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, I think if somebody really offered me at some point long term down the road, 10, 20, however many years from now, $50 million, I'd probably have to take them up. How's it going, Angel? Or Angel, right? Yeah, how's it going? Thanks for giving us so much of your time. Oh yeah, no, not a problem. Yeah, anytime that I have time, like I'm sure you all have noticed this past week specifically, I've been posting a lot of content for you guys. Anytime that I have time available, I try to sit down and just anything that I've learned recently, just pump out the content for you guys. Because I know there's going to be times that, I'm not able to fulfill what I want for you guys. So I want to at least just pump out as much content as I can when I can. That way, whenever those days do pop up to where I can't put a piece out for you guys, that, you'll more than likely have a couple pieces to still catch up on in terms of the content as well. I know I've been trying to focus a lot more on like doing shorts and that kind of thing, because I noticed that we're getting a lot of you guys tuning in for the first time from YouTube Shorts. Very interesting concept. I don't really like it, to be honest. I hate doing shorts. I feel like they just come out kind of bad compared to video content, but it's whatever you guys like the most. Like I said, I feel like there's room for all of it. There's room for these live streams because they're great for these Q&As where I can literally just show you stuff without having to like keep notes of questions that people ask and this and that. I love doing that the most. That's probably my favorite thing to do. Hence why we've been in here almost an hour and a half already. I could do these literally 24/7. And then, there's a place for videos, longer form video content as well, because, at the end of the day, we all like to kind of be able to like rewind and, take notes, or if it's like a tutorial, watch the video and go at the same time, you know what I mean? And then shorts are great for just, maybe meeting a new channel or something for the first time, getting a glimpse of what they're about, a quick little tip video or something like that. What is the best way to transition from part-time to full-time? Jump is scary. Yep. I can totally relate. So, in all honesty, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Can we ask questions? Yeah, no, you can ask questions literally the whole time. That is what these live streams are here for. But back to your question there about jumping from part-time to full-time. In all honesty, this is the one question that I'm probably not the best to answer, as much as it pains me to say that. Because if you don't know like my full story, I was a pest control technician working for Terminix, and during the year of COVID, they fired me. They found out that I was going to get my certified applicator license. They knew I was going to start a business, and they, I could play the whole victim role if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that. They fired me. It is what it is. And they fired me 4 days before taking my exam. I actually posted a short about this recently too. And from there, literally the day I passed the exam, I remember it was Halloween 2020. My little girl was just over a year old at the time, and we literally, I just came straight home and just hammered everything I had to do in terms of the business. Luckily, I had I consider him like a mentor. He owns a pest control company here in the Wiley, Texas area, right up the road from me. He used to work for Terminex too, and he was kind of walking me through the legality stuff. You need to set up this, and you do this, and you do that. Forever grateful for that, by the way. And I remember my wife was like, you just got to take some time away from this for a little bit. Let's go do, like I said, Halloween. So let's take our daughter to this pumpkin patch, this and that. And it was fun. I mean, it was one of the greatest days of my life overall, just because like I felt free. Terminex kind of took the chains off me. Like I told my boss when he fired me, I was kind of laughing. I was like, man, he was like, I'm shocked. I've never fired somebody and them laugh. And I'm like, because, like, in all honesty, you're kind of doing me a favor, because for the longest, this relating to your question, positive vibes, I was like, for the longest, I've been staying here for the wrong reasons. I've been staying here for just like basic shit like health insurance. Health insurance was the only reason I was staying at Terminex, because their health insurance wasn't even that great, first of all. And the only reason I was staying there for health insurance was because, heaven forbid, something happened to my daughter. I could give a shit about if something happened to me. Like, I'm the type where I'll go to a hospital, like, if I'm dying, but that's about it. I go to a doctor occasionally for different things, but, like, I'm only going to a hospital if I'm dying. So I'm like, I don't really need health insurance. I can pay for shit out of pocket. It doesn't really matter. But I told him, I was like, this feels like freeing. Like, I feel like for the longest, I've been making every little excuse on why I shouldn't go ahead and do this. And now it's like, hey, now's the time. So I went home, studied my ass off for literally 4 straight days. Like, I still remember the feeling. Like, I've never read so much that, like, my eyes just felt crazy. It felt like somebody was like scratching my eyes out, just because like I was literally just scanning the book like a freaking robot, essentially. But yeah, I mean, just the best way I can say it is like, you just have to have like a zero options mentality. You're already doing it part-time, it sounds like, which actually puts you, in terms of a safety side of it, in terms of financial, safety, in a better position than even I was in, because I had very little money. I cashed out my 401k. I mean, I burned all the ships, essentially. And that's what you have to do. You got to burn the ships and say, zero options. We're not going back. I refuse to work for another company. I'm never going to do this. Like, you just have to burn the bridges and go all in. That's the best advice I can give to you on that. And from there, you'll actually feel like, yes, you're going to feel a nervousness. If my world is actually still tuning in, he can actually speak to this as well, because I know he actually just went full-time recently as well. And he was actually asking about this, like, does this nervousness ever go away? Like, something of that nature. And no, it never will. But this is where you find out if you're a true, quote unquote, the fancy word, the word that's going around like crazy, like wildfires, entrepreneur. You'll find out if you're a real entrepreneur or not, because you'll learn how to transform that nervous energy and just like that weird feeling in your gut to, positive energy into, hey, I got to make shit happen. Like, you're not going to have time to worry about, hey, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? Like, you're going to become kind of rough a little bit, like rough edge a little bit. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, not a dick or anything, but you're going to be a lot less tolerant of weak-minded people. Assuming, like I said, you end up being a true entrepreneur who wants to make it work, because you're going to be like, what do you mean you don't want to do that? Who gives a fuck? Like, I don't want to do half the shit that I do. You think I want to get up and go piss people off knocking on their doors? You think I want to go piss people off like this? Like, you're not pissing people off all day, obviously, but you get what I'm saying? Like, you're going to do like a bunch of shit that you don't want to do. So you're going to become kind of like a different person-ish. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully that kind of helps. Let's see. Angel said, your shorts are straight to the point and informative. We'll take it. How's it working out with your new tech? So that's actually a great question. I've actually been training him the past week and how long has it been now? It's been about 2 weeks, I think, roughly. What we're waiting on at this point is the state of Texas, the Department of Agriculture, runs their own background check. And I knew whenever I hired him, because he was totally upfront with me, I'm not gonna like go into like a bunch of his business or anything. He didn't even actually, it's not one of those like, oh, I didn't even do anything. Like truthfully, he was literally a kid. He was 18, 19. He like just got in a bad situation where someone essentially like kind of blackmailed him, took his identification, went and did some fraudulent shit with his identification. Police started, hey, we're arresting you. And yeah, everything got cleared, but I know that's going to take the Department of Agriculture a while to, approve him, which is total bullshit, by the way. I could go in on a whole rant on government overreach, for Texas being such a free state and this and that. Like, it's my fucking company. Like, how the hell can the Department of Agriculture tell us whether this employee is fit to do pest control or not? Like, first of all, but I mean, it's just crazy. But like I told him, I was like, because the only thing we have left before he can actually go out in the field by himself is classroom training. So I told him, the classroom training is not cheap to set up either. So I was like, since you're already good on the, OJT primarily, and we're just kind of waiting on TDA, luckily for me, like, he's totally fine with waiting because we know that it should only take maybe another week or so. I'm checking the mail and everything every single day. I'm actually going to call them up tomorrow to kind of light a fire under their ass to hurry up, because they haven't even sent me my updated license that I submitted 3 weeks ago, almost a month ago, for our updated address. They haven't even sent me that yet. So yeah, I'm calling them tomorrow. I have it on my calendar to do so. It's a slightly lighter day for me tomorrow, and I'm gonna call them up and light a fire under their ass, because I already don't like the fact that they got me and my employee in limbo. Like, I mean, imagine if this was just somebody who wasn't cool with it and was like, well, I mean, I gotta make money, dude. Like, I'm gonna have to bounce. Like, he's totally cool. He's like, no, I can do this and that for now, deliver food, this and that. And I'm like, man, like, I appreciate you. Like, you're showing loyalty. Like, he's definitely shown me a lot of good traits as an employee for sure in terms of loyalty and stuff. But, yeah, no. So it's going well though. Like, I can't complain. It's just freaking bureaucrats, man. Let's see, started part-time back in October 2020. Oh yeah, man, shit, what are you waiting on? Go ahead and go full-time. Man. Definitely love the longer videos. That's good to know. What are your thoughts on pricing? Set membership versus pay-as-you-go. By set membership, do you mean what we were referring to earlier in terms of like paying for the year up front versus like the month-to-month membership? Or are you just want to make sure, because I can break it down. We were actually talking about this a little bit earlier too, but I can break it down again as well. Let's see. WTF Google. That's why they do the checks. Anyone who knows what they are doing can easily poison waterways, crops, etc. About to start from ground zero again. My partner didn't want to spend money on advertising. Good for me. No. Yeah, no. In all honesty, this is the type of business I'm not a partnership type of guy to begin with, WTF Google, but yeah, no, take it like, it sounds like you got a positive mindset on it too. with the, good for me. Now I can do my whole thing again, but better. Exactly. You got a good lookout on it. This is the type of industry, it's, you know what you're doing. You'll definitely succeed. He was old. He was an old friend. Exactly. Yep. And that's how it always goes. It's always either for my father, me and him don't agree on a lot of shit like most oldest sons and dads, right? But my father has a saying that has stuck with me my whole life. Friends and well, and I'm not saying this applies to you either, but this is what he says and it's stuck with me because it's been true all throughout life. He says, friends and family will fuck you first. FFF. The friends and family will fuck you first. And fuck doesn't mean necessarily, like literally like they tried to, but even just, their mindset, their negative talk, their, lack of motivation, like whatever the case may be, they can hold you back, which is fucking you at the end of the day. So you can't run a business out of your glove box these days. Yeah, exactly. Your dad was right, but sometimes you still fuck you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, luckily for me, like my father, he was also an entrepreneur. I say entrepreneur. He owned like a contracting business or whatever. But I learned a lot of like stuff that makes me seem a lot of times, like I said, kind of rough edge, kind of like a DIK at times. And I'm very bad about not being able to take my work hat off, and that translates into my personal life sometime, but life is always a work in progress. Positive Vibe said, I like M2M versus month to month, okay, versus membership base plus service type. Oops. Or he just said like month to month versus members. So like I said, I'm assuming by membership, you're referring to kind of like the paying for the year up front. And then if they want to add some stuff a la carte, whatever the case may be, I'll get into that here in just a second. I'm doing my pest control technician exam on July 25th. Not sure if I should go and start my own company right away or get some experience at Oregon or something. So are you at a company right now? How are you taking the technician exam if you aren't? The only reason I ask this is, like, are you at Oregon right now or do you not work for another company? Let's see. In Kelly, you said number. You may need to get. Yeah, I'm assuming Angel, you're replying to. Oh yeah, no free class. Yeah. So, yeah, that's why I was asking too. I'm going to do monthly, bi-monthly, and quarterly plus one time. So right. Now, oh, you're in Missouri. Right on. My cousin is in Missouri as well. I did a whole different world. Yeah, that's no lie. Yeah, Missouri, depending on which area of Missouri you're in, it can be definitely a different ball game in terms of not a lot of activity. Wow. I love these Fairlifes, by the way, but man, that one was warm. I didn't realize how long I had that sitting out. Much easier to get an applicator's license in Missouri, but I think probably any place is easier than Cali. Oh, okay, so let me see. Were you asking about licensing? WTF Google? I was wondering if maybe, no, okay. I was just making sure because I was like, yeah, no, Missouri, super easy. I mean, it was ridiculous. My cousin was explaining it to me. He was like, yeah, we don't have an apprentice license. I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean you don't have an apprentice license? He was like, no, as soon as you, start with a company, you're a technician. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah. He's like, the only time you have to take a test essentially is, you want to become a certified applicator. I was like, no shit. I was like, wow, that sucks. I was like, hell, I had to take 3 tests in the state of Texas, you have to take 3 tests just to become your, pest and termite technician. And then you have to do it again for the certified applicator. And then as the company owner, you have to pay, of course, to get your technicians certified through their, 3 technician exams as well, on top of all the bullshit classwork training you gotta pay for them to, even be an apprentice. I mean, Texas is gone. Kind of crazy. I mean, it's not hard to start a business in Texas. Like, I don't want to make anybody think that at all. Anyone that's actually gone through it all knows that, like, it's really still not that difficult. It's just they make you jump through a bunch of ridiculous loopholes and they're money grabbing, because every step of the way they're grabbing your money. Right, yeah, 12 months too in Missouri. Yeah, you'd have to be in that company for like 12 months, or any company really, for 12 months, and then you can take that exam up in Missouri. Didn't know that. I live in Canada. Okay, Canada in the house. Justin Trudeau, little town up there. Let's see. But I'm pretty sure same law over here too. I'll take a look. People who take their applicator's exam instead of their field prep exam drive me crazy. Yeah. But you do have a technician license to work as an employee. Yeah. And I think what Angel was saying too, he can let me know if I'm wrong. I think Angel was saying, maybe he was saying that actually. I don't know. Oh yeah, I forgot. I was gonna answer. I was gonna write on the board here. If you're still tuning in, positive vibes about month to month versus, our quote unquote. You said membership, but I'm thinking you mean kind of yearly. And like I said, if you're still tuning in, you can let me know if I'm, kind of talking, what you're talking or not. Because to me, like, membership is month to month, where, they can pay for the year and it's going to give them the best, rate. It's a win-win all around. You get a better price, I get you for the year. So I'm locking in, the year's worth of money. You're saving the initial cost up front. But let's just say someone was going to sign up for a basic GPC plan, right? General Pest Control, we're just going to do a random example. I believe, I don't know if JM is in here. I think his name was like JM Pest Control or something like that. He was saying that on one of the videos, like, everything that I do is about 2,000 square foot. So this is just for you, JM, if you end up seeing this. I'm going to do one based on 3,000 square foot for you. How about that? So let's just say this is a 3,000 square foot house, slightly bigger, nothing too big. Hell, my house is 3,000 square foot. If they wanted to pay as they went, that would be in my area, because again, every area is going to be different. In my area in Dallas, Texas, that's going to be about $149 plus tax. Right? And then it would be, what I say, 3,000 square foot, right? Yeah, so then that'd be $49 a month going forward. Make sense? That this would be kind of your month-to-month plan. This isn't anything that's tying them down or anything like that. They can, how we describe this plan, this option to people is, look, if you don't want to pay for the year, that's fine. We always pitch the year first. We say you can sign up for the year for, say we did $49 a month, let's just say 50 for easy numbers. 600, what would that be, 5, or we'll say 49, because it's actually not that hard of math. What would it be, 600, like 588, something like that. You can pay 588 plus tax for the year, or you can pay 149 plus tax up front, and then just $49 plus tax per month going forward. That covers your quarterly pest control. That covers any callbacks if you have any issues in between your services. Does that sound like a deal? And I don't even ask them, of course, does that sound like a deal? before they even start to object, I ask them before, man, let me just go over it for you from start to finish, actually. Let's not even talk about the month-to-month first, because I hate when I get all jumbled up. Like, I want to go over essentially how we do it start to finish. Let's say she calls us for ants in a 3,000 square foot home, right? 3,000 square foot home. Just needs general pest control. We don't even entertain the thought of a one-time service, first of all. We go straight to the recurring. Unless if, of course, they're like, because a lot of times people will tell you up front too, like, hey, I'm in this rental, we're literally moving out within like a month, but like if they give you that information, obviously just give them what they need, right? But we're gonna assume these are people that, you know, they're gonna be qualifying for, you know, general pest control for the year. We would go straight into, okay, no problem. The general pest control, that covers your ants, that's going to cover your roaches, that's going to, you know, go through your whole spiel of all of your stuff. It covers your callbacks, this and that and the other. If you have any issues, come back for free, you know, blah, 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 however you want to word your pitch. And then we'd say that comes out to just $589 plus tax for the year. And we can come out today. Or if you can't come out today for some reason, and we can come out tomorrow. How's that sound? Like, just go straight for it. Don't even, because, you know, how I've been kind of mentioning it is from there we would drop down and say, or, don't even say or. Don't fuck this up. This is your guaranteed money for the whole year, right? So if they're not going to object to it, don't prepare for the objection before they even object, right? Go for the kill. Get the money, right? So that's how we start. Now, it's straight 50-50. And then, why would you say 50-50? More like, you know, 30-30. And then, of course, 30 to 40% won't go through or whatever. But a lot of the time, you know, if you just say, hey, and we can do it today, we can do it tomorrow, whatever, like, oh, okay, great, yeah, my address, blah, 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 get the information, get the card, boom, you got the sell. Now, let's say they object and go, because chances are, by the time they've contacted you, they've probably contacted at least one other company. I mean, do you think you're the shit and you think you're the first one they contacted? More than likely not. If you are, and you learn how to close, you'll know if you were the first call or not, because you'll close them every freaking time. They won't do the bullshit about, you know, asking questions. I need to think about it. I need to talk to my husband, this and that. When you get your pitch down and you tell them, hey, I can come out today, come out tomorrow, you got the close. You'll know right away if you were the first call, because they won't object at all. Like, they'll just go straight for it. If that happens, one, you're getting good at closing. Two, you were definitely the first call, and they probably liked you a little bit. But say they did object, and they're like, oh, well, you know, they've talked to somebody else, you know, do you offer something? Like, can I pay per service? Can I? And then you're like, okay, yeah, no, I'm glad you asked, because we understand not everybody has $589 just sitting around. You know, if you can tell this person's kind of cool, you can even chat it up with them a bit. Yeah, no, we know the numbers that, you know, 70% of Americans don't even have $500 in their account. I wouldn't go there, to be honest, but, you know, if you can tell they're super cool, you know, make them kind of feel easy that you're just having a chill conversation with them. But we understand at the end of the day, $589 is a lot to just put down. So what we can do, too, is we can come out. That would only cost $149 plus tax to get started. Then you just pay $49 plus tax per month going forward, as long as you're a customer. Same thing, you know. And again, like I said, Mrs. Jones, we can come out today. Does that sound like a plan? I can be there within the next 2 hours. I can, what time do you get off work, Mrs. Jones? This is before COVID, of course, so, most people won't working from home, but now the fact that most people are working from home, I can be there within the next hour. Does that work for you, Mrs. Jones? Oh yeah, no, I work from home. Go ahead and come on over. Got it. You're gonna get one of these a lot of the time, as long as you pick up the phone, you sound confident, you're not sitting there, the entire conversation. Have your script. Memorize the script. And the good thing is, this is pest control, guys. Like, we're not selling solar. We're not selling some bullshit. I mean, we're selling a service that people are calling for because they obviously need it, right? They wouldn't be calling us if they weren't having an issue or they weren't terrified of spiders or some crazy shit. Like, this shit's easy to sell. I mean, I could think of 1,000 things that are harder to sell than, pest control. For example, the famous Wolf of Wall Street, sell me this pen, right? 1,000 times harder to sell than pest control. Not if you're good at sales, obviously, but you know what I'm saying. Let's see. Hard to sell people on plans. Sorry, WTF Google, I just seen this. Hard to sell people on plans around here for some reason. Yeah, I got a feeling you live near central, maybe southern Missouri, don't you? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. That's better than inspect. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, bro. Like, to put in perspective, this is another thing. Since I'm catching most of you all when you're Columbia. That's hilarious. What's your company's name? That's where I grew up, as a matter of fact. And my cousin owns a pest control company in Google. Can tell it's getting late. In Columbia. What's your company's name? Graduated from Mizzou. Yeah, man. Yeah, I got some stories about Mizzou. That just shows how small of a world this is. That's crazy. Did you actually grow up there too? Or Crosshair passes my friend's company. The new one is going to be Set Go Pest Control. Okay. Then, yeah. Let's see. He's a member of the Wingate family. I've heard of Wingate. Actually, my cousin used to, not the cousin that I'm saying owns a business up there, but his brother, my little cousin, used to work for Wingate, probably 2 years ago? I think he works for Terminex up there now, if I remember right, last I heard. But what's his name? DIY, Positive Vibes DIY was mentioning, I don't do inspections, and I'm glad I'm catching most of you all before you start your business very early stage, right? Stop doing free inspections. Anytime I get a customer, which you're gonna get pushback for this if you do this, but if enough of us over time stop doing it, which a lot of us have already, but if enough of us stop doing this shit, people will learn that just doesn't fly anymore. For some reason, within the last 20 years, people started offering free inspections. I don't do free inspections. I don't. I just had someone pay me I don't charge a lot or anything. I just had somebody pay me $75 today, plus tax, for inspections. How I phrase my inspection fee, because they'll ask, about termites or rodents. Those are the ones that people usually would ask about an inspection for, a quote, right? I tell them, well, we don't do free inspections or anything because, I just tell them we don't work for free. But if you decide that you're going to end up going with any type of service with us, it doesn't even have to be related to the service like you originally called us for. You can literally end up going with us for anything, and you won't be charged any type of inspection fee. But because we do a very vigorous inspection, we're not just in and out in 2 minutes. We go through and take the time to make sure that your home is either in the best condition that you deserve, or that if there is an issue, what's causing the issue, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And we'll advise you of a plan that you can either go with or, like we said, not go with. And if you decide for whatever reason you don't want to do any of our services or that you just don't need them, then it's just a simple $75 plus tax service call fee. I don't even phrase it as an inspection fee. I say it's just a service call charge. So, let's see. I offer inspections, but nobody ever wants one except for termites. Yep. They just tell you the problem when you give them a price. Exactly. You tell them inspection is free if they hire you on the job. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, and I mean, if one of my neighbors, if one of my neighbors hits me up down the road and he's like, hey man, I think I might be dealing with blah, blah. Like, I'm not going to charge anybody that's within, a mile of me. Because, it takes me, for those inspections, I am pretty quick. Like, those will be, I spend more time just chit-chatting with a neighbor more than actually doing the inspection. But, otherwise, no. I mean, I don't understand why this became a popular thing. I got a feeling it was one of the big companies that started doing this, and for God knows what reason, it's kind of stuck over the years. But I mean, and I don't really get pushback for it. I say pushback, but you really don't get much pushback from it, or you can tell if they're not wanting to pay and they just want somebody to come out there for free, because those kind of be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, let me talk to blah, 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 and then, they never get back to you. So they had somebody come out there for free, which if somebody wants to go out for free, waste their time, their gas, their wear and tear on their vehicle, etc. You could be going out to another customer, earning actual money. By all means, go for it. Even whenever I have my technician out in the field, I'm not going to have him do a free inspection. Fuck that. I still got to pay him, got to pay for the wear and tear on the vehicle, the gas, risk of getting in a wreck because you're driving more. No, I'm not having, and if anyone gives you pushback, just say, well, let me ask, what do you do for a living? And say they tell you, we'll just list a random, I'm trying to think of something random. Let's say they're like, oh, I'm a janitor. Well, hey, what if your boss told you, hey, you haven't even clocked in yet, you just happen to get to work a little bit early, your boss says, hey, go clean that shit up. Are you going to do it? Hell no, you ain't going to do it for free. You're going to clock in first and then go do it. You're not working for free. Why do you expect us to work for free? No. Yeah, we don't do that. I've never had to get snippy like that with a customer or anything, though I pray for the day that it does happen. But Orkin and Terminex, no, more than likely that's where it kind of originated. I actually even had a discussion with my grandfather, who's been in the pest control industry for about, I want to say, over 40 years now. I always just say 40 years because I know he's right around that mark, but I believe he's been in the industry more than 40 years because he's about to be 70 years old. He's owned his company for, damn near 40 years. He may have been in the industry almost 50 years because he was in his 20s, I think. So it's hard to say, but I was talking to him about that, and he was like, yeah, he used to work for Orkin way back, and he was like, we didn't even do free inspections, at least not in my branch. We didn't do free inspections back then. He was a service manager that, he ended up starting his own company. So yeah, no, let's see, I'm trying to think, was there anything else that we need to put on the whiteboard or anything for you guys? Or is there any more questions or anything? No free clout if you're still in here. Do you have any questions or anything? And hopefully, like I said, hopefully you guys are liking the stream. If you are, just do me a favor and smash that thumbs up button. It lets me know and lets YouTube know that people do like these streams. One, it lets me know that you guys want to keep doing these type of streams. And then two, it lets YouTube, do their whole little algorithm thing to find other potential, pest control, not just pest control, but, aspiring business, entrepreneurial type of people, to find the channel and all that type of stuff as well. I'm mostly just here to help out and show support. Yeah, no, I appreciate that too. Yeah, I mean, if y'all are just here, just kind of hanging out, I appreciate it for sure. Because, like I always tell everybody on YouTube, I'm not getting any type of money from YouTube right now or anything. I don't know if any of you all have a YouTube channel or anything, but they make it so hard for anybody to make money on YouTube anymore. You have to have something like, what is it, like 4,000 watch hours in a year or something like that for them to give you any money or anything like that. I have the 1,000 subscribers, obviously, which shout out to you all. A lot of you all have been subscribing like crazy lately. Something like almost 100 subscribers just in the last 28 days. Crazy. But yeah, we're only at like 2,700 watch hours total, and you have to hit like 4,000 in a rolling 1 year period. Like, it's crazy the loops that they make you jump through. Let's see. My World said, thank you very much, Griffin. It's getting late. That it is. And I appreciate you tuning in, My World. Angel said, real quick, does Gorilla Desk plan your routes? By plan your routes, I'm going to assume that what you mean is, like, do they have a route planner built into the tool? Which, if that's the case, yes, they do. I utilize it usually at the beginning of the month because, of course, the beginning of the month is when we're just pumping out regs, trying to get done with as much regs as possible early in the month, right? So, yeah, no, they do have that tool in there. I'll have to grid them. Yeah, no, you can even pull up, say you wanted to pull up your entire month, for example, or however far out you want to go, you can select so you can actually pull up your calendar and your map, or just the map, or just the calendar. Usually what I'll do is I'll go split screen. I'll pull up the calendar, I'll pull up the map. That way I can drag jobs around myself, just because I like the control of it, to each their own. But because, like, what I'll do is I'll actually just look at the map and kind of do it myself. But you can actually click on the map, specific dates, like from this date to this date, and it'll show all those stops. I'll try to remember to, like, kind of post a screenshot, because you can even do it on your phone, as a matter of fact, too. You can do it for like 1 day, you can do it for a month, you can do it for the week. Like, it's pretty cool. Like, the fact, because I know when I was at Terminex, they had their own app. I think they even still use that app today, as a matter of fact. But it was similar from the aspect of you could kind of hit map and kind of zoom out, and even though you might have stops set at boom, 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 one down here, maybe right next to the one up here. So, hey, I'm actually I know you're scheduled 3 to 5, but I'm gonna come at 10 to 12, kind of manipulate it to a certain degree. I think that's where you're kind of going with that question. And yes, that is there. Like I said, I'll try to remember to post a screenshot. It may be tomorrow morning before I do, but tonight or tomorrow morning, I'll get a screenshot of kind of, what the map looks like, assuming that, of course, it's not like giving away customer info, which I don't believe it does. It just shows like a bunch of pin drops all over the map, essentially. And it'll even color code them too on top of that. So it's pretty cool. Let's see. But good question. In my opinion, it's very important to make sure you have your appointment set up first, so you can just go to them, not have to call first and all that BS. Yeah. Just give them a time window instead of oh yeah, no. That's what I was actually telling my cousin, which, by the way, WTF Google, his company is also, well, it's not Preferred Pest Management anymore. He named his, because he now does lawn care stuff as well. I think it's like Preferred Pest and Lawn, something like that, in Columbia as well. If you look at his stuff and look at mine, you'll notice a lot of differences. He'll tell everybody straight up, dude, Griffin's a fucking machine. Like, he literally just focuses on business, where he's got a lot of life outside of business. He's, in all honesty, probably a better parent, probably much better husband, probably has a lot more friends, and I know he has a lot more hobbies. He does side-by-side shit and all that, but yeah, point being, got off on a tangent there. He, for the longest, would tell people he would do like a 30 minute to an hour window. I was like, bro, because he would stress himself out. A stop would take too long, bam, he'd be late. And I was like, dude, just do like a 4 hour window. Like tell him 8 to 12, 1 to 5, or 8 to 12, 12 to 4. Like most people, as long as you give them a time frame, they just want to know roughly when you're going to be at their house, and then maybe a text on the way. Usually I find the 2 hour windows are optimal. Usually a 2 hour window, they don't necessarily need like a heads up. Usually once you start stretching it out to like a 4 hour window, they're like, hey, can you like also text me when you're on your way, just so I have like a heads up, that kind of thing. So yeah, no, I totally agree. And also what I plan on doing, I say plan on doing, but I haven't decided yet. I'm debating between either having my technician handle the pre-text and everything like Terminex does, or me handle it in-house ahead of time still. I'm really torn on that because I do like the concept of the technician having some control from that aspect. Plus, it gives the technician and the customer that, kind of, I wouldn't say like bonding time or anything, but like, I don't know, like gives them, more than just simple, hey, I'm here to do service. All right, bye, but whatever. Like they're actually communicating with each other. I'm really torn on it because like part of me wants the control too, which I'm trying to be less controlling in all aspects of life, not just business, but it's a difficult decision for sure. Angel said, that would be, which by the way, if any of y'all, because I see we still got like 8 of y'all tuning in, if any of y'all have comments or questions, just shout it out. Don't be shy, and smash that thumbs up button if you're enjoying the stream. Let's see, that'd be cool. I purchased 1 year of Jobber, only light. You had to purchase, so the light version isn't free? I thought usually the light version is kind of like a free, or maybe it's just a cheaper version, maybe. Only because my business is literally brand new. Make a pretty great income with my employer. Gotta do it, bro. I'm telling y'all. A lot of y'all are going half-ass diving in. I don't want to say half-ass because not your effort, but in terms of your, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh. I can tell it's getting late because my brain, I just can't think of my words right now. You're going half in with your commitment. There we go. God, not even a big word, Griffin. You're going half in with, you're the second or third person in the chat tonight that's brought up being half, part-time, part-time. Man, y'all got to go all in. You got to trust yourself. You got to know that, hey, don't get paralysis of analysis. Like, I notice even me, a lot of times when it comes to like, say, the website stuff, I will look up and I'll watch so many videos and this and that and the podcast and this and that and the other. And a lot of the time, you just need to jump in and do shit, right? Same thing with going full time. Like, you can watch a bunch of people who are doing it, or you can be the one that goes out and does it. And again, not to say that you all aren't, and I'm not even like calling out, you Angel, like specifically. I'm just, your comment, like I said, is the second or third one just tonight who's talking about that you do it part-time. And I can tell just based on how you say, you make a good income, so like it's hard to jump in. Like at some point, you just gotta, like I mentioned earlier, just burn the ships. You gotta just go all in. Like I explained to everybody, what's the worst that can happen? The business doesn't work, the business sinks. What are you gonna do? Go get another job, right? There's always people hiring. Like, jobs aren't going anywhere. And people always think that, well, I have this safety net with this job. Do you? Who's to say that business won't fail? Who's to say that they won't have to lay you off? Like, I don't know if you all notice, like a lot of businesses out here, they don't really give a fuck about their employees. Like, that's where like you can control, at least with your business. I'm going to care about my employees. I'm going to take care of them, this and that. Like, who do you trust more? Some corporate, suit and tie motherfuckers that they know you as a number more than a name? Or do you trust the man in the mirror that you see every morning to go out and make shit happen. Just a little, man, I don't know what got into me there. A little motivation thing for y'all, I guess, maybe. But, man, like, just trust yourself. Like, just trust yourself. I trust myself more than I trust anybody. Sometimes that comes back to bite me in the ass, not gonna lie. But, you know, I want to succeed by me and fail by me and die by me. Live by me, die by me, ultimately, if that makes sense. Let's see. They have a lot of companies here, a lot of competition. That I have heard. I know when I used to live in Missouri, which was shit, like 6 or 7 years. No, when did we move? 2017? Either 2017 or 18, like 6 years ago. There wasn't really that many, but apparently there's been a lot more recently. Some of the smaller companies still insist on calling every customer. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's begging for complications. Windows are best. Never promise exactly. I notice sometimes with restaurants, this can be a pain in the ass. I just had one tonight. They had some German roaches. And I actually just did their initial this past Tuesday, told them I'd be back out in 2 weeks, you know, all that. And I told them from the first service, gonna be out there 9:30 to 11, which is the tightest I'll go, is 90 minutes. And it was like 9:25, and he said that they had arrived, blah, blah, blah. This was this past, like literally this Tuesday that just passed. And it was like 9:25. I was getting ready to head that way. And I texted him, because he said something about like, we're here on time. And I was like, the fuck you mean on time? One, it's not even 9:30 yet. Two, I told you 9:30 to 11. So I just mentioned to him, I was like, yeah, no, I'm actually getting ready to head your way. Like I mentioned yesterday, be out between 9:30 to 11. But appreciate that you're there and blah, blah, blah. And I'll see you shortly. And he ended up leaving actually and left an employee there. And she was telling me how this is actually her day off, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I sense a problem coming up. Well, sure enough, he texted me today asking if we could do Monday instead of Tuesday, which I was like, whatever, yeah, no, we can do that. And he asked if we could do 9:30 on time. And it's an Asian restaurant or something like that. Asian, Korean, something like that in Plano. And I was like, God damn, man, he's wanting like an exact time, isn't he? So I just told him again, because I told him the first time why we have to do the windows. I was like, I can't ever really promise you a specific time just because our schedule is fluid. Like it can change based on how long services take, So I was like, because I told him 9:30 to 11 again, like the first time. And I was like, I can't tell you that I'll be there for sure at 9:30. I can't do that. But I was like, but if it would, be better, I could say 9:30 to 10:30. I was like, I can make an exception for you. Like, I will make sure to be there by 10:30. In all honesty, I'd be shocked anyways if I'm not there by 10. But I was like, you gotta at least give me roughly an hour to work with. And he said, okay, thankfully. But it's like, oh, man. It can be a headache sometimes with commercial accounts, for sure. You gotta know how just to kind of, it's almost like you're negotiating just with your time. Like, you're just like, hey, like, you got to rub my back a little. I'll rub your back a little. Usually we do 2 hours. I'm just letting you know, we usually don't do this. We usually do this. So I'm willing to do this for you. Can you do this for me? Right? Like, it's almost like a chess match, and it's unnecessary. But for some reason with these commercial accounts, it can definitely be like that. Let's see. If I can do a whole day's worth of jobs, having to speak to a customer. Yeah, no, those are the days, right? Grill desk is cheap as hell. Yeah, so with the $59 a month, or $49, yeah, don't do that option. I'll tell you straight up, don't do that option. Do the $99 a month option with everything that's included in the $99 a month option. It's $40 or $50 more a month, like, and there's no tax on it either. Like, it's just a flat $99 a month. Best investment. Like, they are the one company when it comes to just the pest control industry as a whole that, like, I'm a true promoter of. Like I said, I've been somewhat critical of like their whole SEO, service. I wish that instead they would literally just transform that side of their business and just sell their websites that they build for people. They'd have a lot happier, in my opinion, of a base. But, they must know that side of the business better than me in terms of their analytics and whatnot. But my point being, in terms of their CRM, I'm like the biggest promoter of Gorilla Desk. Like, it is the best purchase that you'll make for your business. Tech business owner. Here's something interesting. We just had to send a demand letter to a hotel for $6,500. Wow. A national chain, but they don't want to pay their invoices. You know what it is too? Let me ask. Let me see. We're in July right now. When was that invoice originally sent out? WTF Google. I bet you I know what happened there. When, like what, not specific date, just like what month was the invoice sent out, if you happen to know what month by chance. A lot of times, let's see, Angel says, a lot of times when you tell customers that you'll be there 8 to 10, they think you'll be there 8 to 9. Yeah, especially the new ones, right? Not that you'll arrive, Yeah, I get that I try. That's another thing where the longer you're in this industry, the more you start to notice those kind of things, and you're like, let me be sure this person knows what I mean here. So you tell them, by the way, when I say 8 to 10, I mean that I could arrive as late as 9:30 or even 10. But my goal is if I can, I'll be there as early as 8. It just depends. It depends there's a lot that goes into it. So, yeah, no, you start to notice those kind of things for sure. Yeah, and it's funny when they think you're going to be there like 2. Oh, you're already done? They said you were going to be here 8 to 10. Oh, my God. No. You think I'm going to do this shit for 2 hours? What do you think I was going to do? Sit here and have a cup of coffee with you? Like, man. You can upgrade anytime. Figured I could get by with the 49. Yeah, no, and that's the thing too, is it's they do have a free trial, if I recall too. It's like 2 weeks maybe, if I recall, either 7 days or 2 weeks for like the whole version too. I didn't know they build websites. And ours is a WordPress. They actually built the WordPress website for us. If you go and look at our website, the main like quote unquote theme that's used on WordPress is actually their specific theme that they've had created. We have transformed it a lot. Like everything in terms of content and everything is all me. Anything pretty much you see on that website at this point is all me. What's your URL? That's just preferredpestmanagement.org, not .com.org. Wasn't willing to pay $1,000 a year for the .com, unfortunately, for the domain host. But just Preferred Pest Management spelled completely out. .org is for that. I've been using PestPack. I've heard some mixed reviews on PestPack as well as Field Routes. I've heard there's a max exodus going on right now of Field Routes. I actually even got an email as if like I was a customer saying, if there's anything that you, or let me see if I can find the email for you guys really quickly. And let me know in the chat if any of you all have been using Field Routes, because I found this interesting. I was like, what the hell is going on? Of course, I can't seem to find it. I wonder if it's in my other email, because I have a couple of business emails here. Let's see. PestPack is very complicated if you're not a CPA, and it's very expensive as well. Yeah, that I have heard in terms of PestPack. And that's what I do like about Gorilla Desk is it's a very easy platform. Like as long as you have just a little bit of, dare I say, technological common sense, it's a very easy platform. Okay, here we go. Here we go. 9:05 this morning. Preferred Pest Management. This is the title of the email. Preferred Pest Management /field routes. This is from Scarler at fieldroutes.com. He or she said, oh, that's weird. Their name's actually Sophia. Oh, it's S and then last name. Okay. Hi Griffin. Would like your feedback on if you're experiencing the same issues that other companies and techs who currently use mobile apps in the field struggle with when they lose service. It can result in all their notes, pictures, and timesheets. I didn't even read this till just now. This is my first time. And timesheets being lost because of inefficient processes in the field. Just one of many easy, which is what's funny is I've never been a customer of theirs. I don't know how they got my email. This isn't even my actual business email. This is a business email I set up like day one. It's an actual Gmail account, not even my official business email account. But anyways, just one of many easy to use features within the Field Routes mobile app is we created an offline mode. They're late as fuck to that, by the way. Gorilla Desk has had an offline mode since before I even started using them, which was January, beginning of the year of 2021. Because at first, I was just using my Square Appointments app. And then after like 20 to 50 customers, I was like, fuck this. We created an offline mode and selling features that allows the technician to complete work anywhere and anytime without the worry of losing information or having to write anything down on paper. What are you currently doing when a tech loses service? Well, I don't have to worry about that because I use Gorilla Desk. But yeah, that was the email they sent me. So when I got that email, I could tell just by the little pre-text that you see of the email, the beginning, I was like, ooh, they must be dealing with some issues. And then literally later today, I've seen a massive thread on Facebook where people were talking bad about the old Field Routes. Positive Vibe says, I'm in the process of canceling Field Routes. And then it says message retracted. WTF Google says Pest Pack is probably best if you have a larger organization where you need some sophisticated. Well, and that's the thing too, is Gorilla Desk does integrate with like QuickBooks and I think maybe another one. And they also, of course, integrate with like Stripe and Square and all of that for like your payment processing and all of that. And if I remember right, Gorilla Desk, you can actually only have like up to 75 technicians, which is a pretty good sized company. I mean, let's be real. I mean, that's not a little company by any means. I mean, if you're doing 200,000 per technician, and that's on the low end, right? 200,000 per technician, that's what, 14 to 15 million a year, something like that. I'm trying to think if my math is off. I believe 14 to 15 million a year. That's just 200 grand a year per technician too. So you can build a pretty good sized company on Gorilla Desk. I get what you are saying too. Like if it's, all just in that one software, totally get it. But yeah, let's see. I have Field Routes and it sucks. We're in and we're already shopping for new software. I need a good trans report for my high-end customers. A what? I need a good trans report for my high-end customers. What do you mean? Am I reading your comment or your message wrong? I need a good trans report for my high-end customers. Trends reporting. Oh, trends reporting for, oh my God. Yeah, no, I thankfully don't have to deal with that type of stuff. That's actually a good question. Let me see here. Field routes does not cut it. Because Gorilla Desk is constantly adding stuff. Let me see. I'm just looking in here. They have, let's see, you said trends report. Okay, trends report. I'm trying to see here because Gorilla Desk also does have a, let's see. They have MDU tracking. What is this? Multi-unit tracking. Some job sites, like this is a new one right here. Some job sites have multiple units where they need individual tracking with individual work orders. This multi-unit tracking feature gives you the ability to manage buildings and provide work orders per unit. Managing units will become available under your locations with this add-on active. Display unit level information on your invoices and work orders. I'm wondering, is this what you're kind of referring to? Display unit level information on your invoices and work orders. Set up which data to hide or display for your customers to see. And like I said, this is new. It's already activated on mine. Oh yeah, and they even have device tracking too on top of that. Device tracking, GPS tracking. Of course, online booking and stuff where they can book their service in advance. I have that turned off. SMS text messaging, which is just $5 a month, plus the price of the SMS, which I think is either free or pennies. Let's see, API keys allow you to integrate Gorilla Desk with other websites, services, and data sources. You can use them with our existing integrations, or you can build one yourself. And then of course Zapier. I'm trying to see if there's anything, because they also have a chat where you can request a new tool. Let me see. I'm trying to see where I can find that at. Let's see. Academy, knowledge base, training, request a feature. Here we go. And you can search ones that people have already suggested. Let's see. Or at least you used to. Let me see. Maybe not. They used to let you see what other people have already asked for, but I'm not seeing that right now. Like, it's making me go through and type everything in. But let's see, did you respond? Trends reporting shows pest activity history on devices and locations. What do you mean by devices? Define devices. Because you can, on your work order, put the pest activity like on the work order, but not the, I don't know about the what you mean by devices. Sometimes my locations get audited yearly or random, so they have to have a trends report at all times, especially for food. Wow, that's actually kind of strict. Yeah, where the restaurants that I treat, they literally just have to have a receipt that shows that they have had a pest control company come in and treating. Occasionally they'll get an inspector who's like, we need notes on this that says, like, you know, X activity found, which may be kind of like what you're referring to, kind of history of bait station activities. Yeah, so that sounds kind of similar to what some of the inspectors will ask for in different cities down here. A couple of them will say, like, they need in the notes of the invoice, you know, literally, like you said, if you have bait stations out, you know, was there roaches, you know, is there any suggestions for sanitization? that kind of thing. They're far and few in between down here. Usually most of them just want some kind of proof that you do have pest control. And then actually rodent control down here is usually handled by the actual landlord of the actual building, because most restaurants down here, they're not like standalone outside of maybe the national chains. They're usually in like a plaza or something like that. So yeah, I don't usually have to deal with that. Usually just simply putting it in the notes of the invoice is sufficient when it comes to that. But like I said, I know too, Gorilla Desk is literally adding a crazy amount of I mean, they're adding stuff literally like rapid fire, it feels like. But yeah, man, we have been live for, what's this say? We've been live for over 2 hours. Wow. And y'all have been great tonight. Maybe it's just that it's almost the weekend and everybody's feeling great. Let's see. Yes, I have to actually scan. Wow. And I forget where is this again, my world? I forget where I always forget where you're at, which state. I feel like yours was either California or up north, one or the other. Maybe, was it Michigan or, I feel like yours was either, yeah, California. Okay, I was right the first time. I knew you were one of those two, either up north or California, but that doesn't surprise me then, being in California, because I heard they have gotten ridiculous out there when it comes to like pesticides and the rodent baits and all that type of stuff. And like I said too, if y'all are enjoying the stream and all that good stuff, just let me know by smashing that thumbs up button. I know most of y'all have already, if not all of you at this point, but if you haven't yet, just do me a favor and smash that thumbs up button. It lets me know you guys love this type of content. California, sound like California. Yeah, well, it's funny you say that too, because my mom moved out there very, very briefly. That's where her boyfriend was actually living, and now they're both about to move to Texas. My mom will be moving actually August 1st. She was supposed to have moved this month, but it got pushed off to August 1st. And he'll be moving down at the end of the year as well. Just, he's been at his job forever, so he's wanting to give them like a huge notice, train his replacement, you know, all that type of good guy stuff that I would never do personally. But yeah, no, it's funny you say that. Yeah, he's the same way. He's like, can't fucking stand this state, can't wait to get out of here, blah blah blah. Like yeah. Pretty spot on with what you're saying there, my world. But yeah, no, if y'all have any more questions, just let me know. I'm probably here within the next few minutes gonna be going off. Let's see. Have a great night, Sir Griffin. Yeah, no, I appreciate you all tuning in. Good luck to everyone here. Yeah, no, I appreciate you tuning in as always, Angel. It's awesome to see you tuning back in. And by the way, was my math, you might have already got off maybe, was my math actually wrong on that? I saw you say something about 2,000 customers versus 200 customers. I was wondering if my math was actually wrong on that example, because I know we went over a couple different examples on that one stream that I uploaded. You may not even remember which one I'm talking about maybe, but I remember that I was like, man, what the hell? I'm too lazy to do math. Yeah, I guess that's the one thing I do got going for me when it does come to business type of stuff is, it's not that I love math or anything like that. It just kind of comes naturally, I guess. Like there are, I'm not saying when it comes to, you know, the Pythagorean theorem or any of this crazy stuff that I'm a big math nerd or anything like that, but I was able to get up to, what was I at, like, man, what calculus did I take? Calc is my limit. That's good enough for pest control. Yeah, I was right around that level, essentially. Yeah, calculus, that shit was man, that shit gave me a headache. I was like, yeah, I'm tapping. I'm done at that point. I was like, I'm never going to use this. I knew that I was going to go to college to more than likely be an accountant or something originally, like a CPA, something like that. But I was like, after 6 weeks of college, I was like, this is a fucking scam. I was like, I'll just go out and make some money. How about doing that instead? Let's see. Calc-ish. I had to take it. I was trying to get a comp SCI degree. Not even gonna pretend to know what that means, to be honest. I'm a writer, not a mathematician. Yeah. Well, if you're a writer, you'll do pretty good at creating. Oh, duh. I should be able to put those together. Computer science degree. Yeah. If you're a good writer, though, you should be able to do pretty well. When it comes to like creating content for your website, that'll be an advantage that you definitely have in terms of, the competitors. And on top of that, computer science, let's see, I can build a website. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about. Yeah, if you're doing computer science, you can probably build your own website. I'm wondering, did you learn enough to be able to code and all that stuff as well? Because man, I have to like watch a bunch of like Khan Academy and YouTube videos and stuff like that. And man, there's some stuff on there. I'm like, golly, shit gives me a headache. I'm able to get it done, and somehow I haven't broken my website, but man, sometimes I'm like pulling my freaking hair out, figuring out the code side of some things. Just very basic stuff. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and a lot of the basic stuff is, let's be honest, all that it really takes to, build your website and optimize it. Like, building it by far is the hardest part. The web is mostly JavaScript, PHP. Yeah, no, in all honesty, you'll probably be fine, which I'm sure you are if you said that you're already, like, building websites and stuff like that. Good at marketing materials. Yeah, you'll probably do just fine, to be honest. I mean, if I'm able to do it, I always say, if I'm able to do it as a 6-week college dropout that, was just smart enough in high school to be dangerous. I mean, I did take some advanced courses and shit, like AP this, AP that, and honors this. But that wasn't me. That was just because the girlfriend that I had while I was in high school at the time pushing me to, be somebody that I wasn't at the end of the day. But if you can figure out Google Analytics, I know that's right. Yeah, Google Analytics, I'll have to be doing some videos for you all on that too, because they just came out with that recent update. Was it Google Analytics 4 or something like that? GA4, something like that? I got everything switched over for us, but I heard that's actually interesting. Let me go to the home and make sure everything's running smoothly, because I think that just happened recently, like the complete switch over. So everything's functioning as it should. Which is funny though, because it says this property is not complete. Settings may be completed if you base your universal, unless you opt out in the connect. Oh, so that's just if I opt out. Yeah, well, why the hell would I opt out? So yeah, our Google Analytics is still working. So I must have did everything right, because yeah, we had the whole thing going with that. But I'll have to post an actual video at some point once I know that everything's right to show you guys. Let's see. I have a degree in yada yada. Rely on your videos mostly. Here's the deal with SEO for pest control. Just spend money on local ads. It doesn't matter how good your SEO is, paid spots. Oh yeah, no, yeah. If you want to be all the way at the top, yeah, you gotta, pay for the ads. But I don't know if you were in here earlier. What'd you say, My World? Griffin, I think this is the one. Yeah, no, it definitely is My World. We're going on, what, 2.5 hours now? This is definitely our longest one. It doesn't matter how good, if you're natural #1 pure SEO, you'll still be lucky to come up to, if you're natural #1 on pure SEO, you'll still be lucky to come up top 20. Are you saying top 20 in terms of, I know you're referring to like, like when you're or I'm assuming you're talking about what you see in the Google Search Console, because I get what you're saying, but we do have a lot of pages that are without advertising, ranking very well. For example, and this is actually pages that they do convert for us, but we'd rather get our service location pages ranking first. Our contact us page, the one that actually drives the most leads for us, is averaging a ranking position of 3.3. Our services tab, because of course when you have the ones that are going to rank the most, this is, an SEO hack. I don't know if you were in here earlier for the SEO, segment, quote unquote, of the show or class or whatever we want to call this. But say we have our web page here, right? We'll just, make a little web page. So of course at the top, you got like your home, your services, your service locations, and then maybe a blog, which most people have that set up completely wrong and it's pointless. But a blog, maybe a video page, whatever, contact us, what did I say? Oh yeah, locations, like service locations, and then services. And then of course you probably have like a home as well, but just for, this example here, we'll do it like this. And then of course you'd have your drop downs and this and that, but these pages right here are usually, assuming that you have some type of actual content on them, are gonna rank the best. So if you want to hack this, you can, instead of having blog right here, take one of your location pages or take one of your service pages, plug it in your header. Another thing you could do, which this was a tip that Chris Palmer SEO, shout out to his YouTube channel. Oh shit, I actually got a meeting with him tomorrow morning. I almost forgot about that. Oh no, that might actually mess with my morning now. Shoot, I'll have to, life of business, right? But yeah, shout out to him for talking about the sidebar too. You can set up a sidebar and, take advantage of some of this. And then, of course, you have your footer down here as well. The footer usually is not quite as powerful, but the reason that, our services, our contact us page, our where we serve page, why these are always ranking so well for us and driving the most leads for us is because we have them up here. We have them down here in the footer as well. Specifically the contact us page. It's on every page of your website, your header, your footer, and then if you have a sidebar, which the sidebar, of course, you can change per page as well, especially with a WordPress website. But the things that are in your header, footer specifically, but most importantly, the header, those are going to rank the best because they have the most internal links to them. So that's telling Google that, hey, these are the most important pages on this website. Now, of course, your drop-down pages, right? Dallas, Rowlett, whatever the case may be, those are generally speaking going to rank slightly better as well. Usually, like, from what I noticed, like page 2 to 3, or even as low as 6 in my case early on when I was bombing our SEO. But as you start to build topical authority underneath each of those service location pages, those will also go up over time, which topical authority with the proper structure is it's virtually not even used in the pest control industry, which is how if you want to achieve it organically, that's the best way you're going to get it, is through topical authority. Because if you're coming out with a bunch of content, right? Just give you just one quick example. Say you have your service page or your service location page, let's just say Dallas, Texas, right? This is like the service location page, which would be underneath, an area like service area, right? This would be in the header, right? So Dallas, Texas, from here, this is where most companies stop. They don't have any internal links really coming to that page at all outside of their little blog post that's linking all over the place, right? That's where, when we talk about website structure, a bunch of companies are getting this wrong. How we do it, or how we do it now, since we've been getting it fixed the past 2 to 4 weeks now, never ending process with as many blogs as we've had, is we broke it down and made like a, ant control Dallas page, right? And then we had another one down here, right? Like, let's just say mosquito control Dallas, right? And then from that, these are just 2 examples. You can break it down over and over with different services, this and that and the other. Or even, if you wanted to create a blog post about, common pests in Dallas, right? You could even link that back up. All of these, every page that you make, by the way, you can break this down even further, say carpenter ants, Dallas, right? Carpenter ants, Dallas. You can say fire ants, Dallas, whatever the case may be. Just realized I drew this shit crooked as hell. But stick with me. It's all linking up. It's all building topical authority so when you have enough, what do you think Google's going to do? They're going to realize, hey, that page needs to be rewarded. They're going to naturally increase that page's, not topical authority. They're going to raise that page's rankings, assuming that you have that page optimized, right? You can't have a bunch of keywords plugged in that don't relate. You can't be linking shit from this over here and over here to different, unrelated stuff. You need everything smushed together, if that makes sense. Like, you don't want to link your ant control Dallas to, your Fort Worth page or something. You're fucking up your structure. I think you even mentioned it there, like cross-linking maybe. Like you're just messing up the structure. It's not really helping the website at the end of the day. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. If you've been watching the content on the channel for a while, you probably have heard me kind of talk about that a little bit. Let's see, have you checked your stats to see where the most popular entry pages are on your site? I'd be interested to know how many of those visits are organic. So anything from like this filter I'm looking at right now, say last 7 days, this is all organic. I haven't been running any ads since what, March, I believe? March or April. I think it was March, if I recall. I'd have to go, let me actually pull up my Google Ads account. I can tell you right now. Let's see, Google Ads. Like, I think I was debating firing one up, and I may have fired it up for a couple of days at some point, or like a day or two. Let me see, let's do filter. Boy, this shit is loading slow. I don't care what these internet providers say. They track how often, like when you use the internet, and they slow that shit down when they think you're sleeping. Let's see. So we'll just say last 30 days. How much have I spent? So in the last 30 days, okay, when did I run something? I ran one to our web page. I only spent $62, but I ran one to, oh, okay. So that was to a landing page. Which of course from there, I think I get what you're saying. Like you're wondering, did they navigate from that landing page to another page? But in the last 30 days, that only was 4 clicks. Crazy CTR. I should have kept that running. 17.39% CTR. How long did this run? 2 days. Oh, okay. That makes sense then. I don't even remember doing this, to be honest. But like, let's look back over the last like 90 days, roughly. 30 days up to today. Let's do 90 days, I guess. So in the last 90 days, last 90 days I spent that same $62. So yeah, I've gotten 4 total clicks from an ad. And then if we go back over here, because the other thing too is the Google Analytics, the Google Search Console, it'll tell you the clicks as well. So let me see. You can also make separate page for each title. Neighborhood. Yeah, neighborhood as well. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's actually the neighborhood. I didn't even think about neighborhood. Let's see. Not even local ads. No type of ad. Not even, like I mentioned at the very beginning of the stream tonight, we haven't been running even LSA. It's all been organic since before my new daughter was born, because I knew I wasn't going to have much time early on once she was born. So I was like, hey, I don't want to potentially, waste money on that ad money, right? That was before, hiring the technician too and all that. I'm planning on starting a Facebook ad potentially soon, but even that's kind of up in the air. We're just kind of making sure that this wave, because our daughter just had to have a little procedure done out of pocket because it wasn't covered under insurance, because she had a lip tie and a tongue tie. It was like $500 or something like that. Like, I've had expenses coming up essentially, so I want to make sure that we're kind of on good footing before going ahead and diving back into advertising. But yeah, let's see. My understanding is that you never want to cut those off. Yeah, I've heard that, and I've seen also a bunch of like the debunking of that. It's not, so let me say, let me break it down like this. When it comes to Google Ads, people will say that it's penalizing. They're not penalizing you for stopping the ad. What happens is when you think about like when you first start an ad up, right? I've even brought this up on the channel a few times. When you first start your ad up, depending on your ad budget and time of day running the ad, this and that, usually the first 1 to 2 weeks is like a learning phase for your ad. And if you pause that ad long enough, Google is essentially going to have to go through that entire learning phase again. It usually goes through it quicker. Say it took 2 weeks, it takes usually about 50%. And that depends on, again, how long was the ad paused. Was the ad only paused for a couple days, a week? Then chances are within a few days that ad's going to be producing again. Was it paused for, say it's a yearly ad that you run for spring or something? Then again, it's probably going to take 2 weeks before that ad starts performing again, because it's like anything, right? I compare it to like going to the gym, right? Say you go to the gym, every day for a year, and you start bench pressing 225, right? And then you stop going to the gym for a year. Do you think when you go back into the gym, you're immediately just going to pick up that 225 and do the same reps that you left off at? More than likely, no. I mean, actually, like 100% no, right? So hopefully that kind of makes sense. Like, they're not penalizing you. I always try to use what's the word I'm looking for? F it, I don't care. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying when I talk about that. You can reduce them to bare minimum. Okay, so yeah, I kind of hit on that. Facebook supposedly is mostly used for exposure. Yeah, and I was talking about that too. Every Facebook ad that I've ran is primarily for exposure more than anything, because I run my business based on that idea that they're not going to do business with you if they don't know you exist. The more that you put your brand in front of them, I want to be the brand that literally, when people in my area think I need a pest control company, they just automatically think, boom, prefer pest management, right? Kind of like, I know WTF Google, you're in Columbia, MO. I know one of the jingles up there. And if you listen to the radio at all, I'm sure you do. Now you got a friend in the pest control business. Steve's Pest Control. Da-da-da. I still remember it 6 to 7 fucking years after leaving that town. Like, you want to have that type of impact, is my point with getting your name out there, right? Like, Steve's just killing it here. Yeah. So, you want that kind of impact. And I don't know if you were in the stream at this point when I was talking about running a Facebook ad. What I've noticed the past 2 years with Facebook ads is right now, usually mid to late July through usually early August, time's running out, which is why I'm like, do I even want to do it at this point? But if I do, I'll probably run it for like 10 to 15 days and just like hyper focus it on one area that I'm really trying to hit hard and just get the repetitive views on it, because right now is usually the cheapest cost per impression. You're not dealing with, spring sales. You're not dealing with fall sales. You're not dealing with Christmas sales and this and that. July and early August is kind of like that gray area where there's just not a lot of advertising dollars going into these social media companies. Of course, Google and stuff, and even Google to a certain degree. I think he's probably not in the chat anymore, but Salvador, he was in the chat earlier saying that he noticed Google Ads pricing has started to go down a little bit recently. So you can tell right now specifically that ads are affordable, like they're fairly cheap. Google local services, expensive as fuck still. But Google Ads and like Facebook ads and stuff, they're at the cheapest price they're probably gonna be until I would say until after New Year's. Usually the 2 best months of the year, or maybe 3 best months of the year if you're looking for price to get impressions. We're not talking about driving necessarily, leads. We're talking pure impressions. The best months of the year that I've noticed, at least for my business in the pest control industry, is July. And again, like I said, you could do early August. You start, around that second week of August, you really start getting the back to school money coming in too. But not from pest control, but just cost for impressions, eyeballs overall. You got to factor in everybody, not just your industry. But for impressions, the best time of year is July through early August, and then January and February. That's what I've noticed. And again, we're talking impressions. We're not talking lead generation. We're talking long term. We're talking brand building, if that makes sense. And again, that's just from my experience. I'll try, I'm going to put a note down actually, so I don't forget. Why don't I just put it right here on the board so I don't forget. Best months for costs for impressions. I want to do like actual research on that for you guys as well to see if I'm sure there's some kind of data on that as well. And like I said, I'm sure that, it's one of them things that it may be business to business. It may even be industry to industry. But again, from my experience, what I've noticed in terms of costs, and Salvador even kind of confirmed it slightly in terms of, mentioning that Google ads were slightly cheaper lately. That July definitely seems to be a cheaper month for cost for impressions. And then January, February. And January specifically, why does January make sense? We just went through the holidays. Ain't nobody buying shit after the holidays, right? Most people maxed out their credit cards, took out personal loans, line of credit on their house, whatever they had to do to, keep up with the Joneses at the end of the day over the holidays, right? So, including a lot of these businesses, they spent a lot of money trying to get business before the end of the quarter, before the end of the year. So, even advertisers, they're not really spending as much money right at the beginning of the year most of the time, which gives us an opportunity to, capitalize on that. I felt like too, WTF Google, were you the one that was mentioning that a hotel didn't want to pay you earlier? If that's the case, let me know what month was the invoice sent out and what month was it supposed to be paid. Because speaking of end of months, end of quarters, that kind of thing, I may have not a reason. It's still bullshit at the end of the day, but I got a feeling that I know what that, because you said it was a big company too, like a national chain. I'm wondering if I may have a feeling. They have a regular monthly service, started in April. But what specific month did they not pay on? Was it June by chance, or was it? Let me see or you said April, so was it June? Oh, they haven't paid any. Okay, then no, that's something weird going on. Probably management. In all honesty, probably some really bad management. Not as it, yeah. That sounds like probably some really bad management. Not even just at that specific location, but potentially even higher up, like a regional, somebody higher up that chain is messing some stuff up. I got a feeling they think we won't do it. That too, and yeah, it could even be that too. F that company, they're not gonna, have the money to pursue an attorney, with an attorney or anything like that. Yeah, that's a shame. Little do they know I'll lawyer up in a heartbeat. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, no, we gotta do what we gotta do to make our money, because yeah, you probably went out there more than what I even would have had I not got my money, because yeah, that's something that I do not play about, is getting my money. It's a damn shame. If you're gonna go screw with a company, go screw with a small company. Go screw with a big company. Don't mess around with people who are just trying to, put food on the table for their family and, build a good life for themselves and everything. Didn't mind continuing the service because they're going to pay one way or another. Yeah. And they're also, nope, exactly. I get what you mean, 100%. Yeah, gosh, I know that's gotta be stressful. Yeah, right. Like, I'll take your whole company. Yeah, no, that stuff would get you going. Oh, man, yeah. Because I'm the type where even just over like 100 to 200 bucks, like it's the principle more than anything. Like, it's not even, it could be $1. Like, if you owe me, you owe me. Like, just pay the damn bill. Like, it's not, and I'm usually kind of, I'm lenient. Like, I understand, like, either shit happens or, hey, I forgot about this, but my next paycheck, if it's residential or something, like, my next paycheck, no problem. But that shit starts rolling into, like, the next month, 30 days, it's messing with my accounting and all that. Yeah, no, that's a problem right there. Yeah. Yes, sir. But yeah, no, man, wow, we've been going on almost 3 hours now. A web development company. Oh, there you go. Even though I suck at Google. Man, Google's like a never ending. I have found that it's just like Google's it's a never ending game. Like, you just have to keep, it's a combination of research and application. Because, like I mentioned earlier, we don't want to get paralysis, of analysis or anything like that, or analysis paralysis. It's late, however you, phrase it. But at the end of the day, like, we can literally just get to the point where, like, well, damn, somebody said this, and somebody said, like, it's a matter of, okay, what I always go with essentially is what makes the most sense to me, and how hard is it to apply it. If it's super easy to apply, I'm like, fuck it, let's just try it real quick. Like, if it's super quick and easy to do, let's try it real quick, see what happens, and give it a few weeks or so to produce, and if not, burn the ships and move on. If it's something that's harder, like this whole silo structure shit that we're doing right now, I did a lot of research making sure that, man, is this silo shit legit? Is it actually legit? And I mean, there's a lot of case studies out there that show it doesn't even matter like what industry it is, what product you're selling, what service you're selling. Like, it's one of the oldest basic SEO concepts out there that have been kind of pushed back under the rug for a while. And as of late, I would say within the last year or so, I've noticed a lot of people, especially on YouTube, one, trying to sell services on it, packaging it up different type of ways and stuff. But it seems to be one of the ways. But of course, like everything with Google, there's more to it than just one or two things. There's always, algorithm updates, and then AI's coming in, and like, it's never changing. It's just technology, right? They just require too much. Yeah. Easier to pay someone if you can find someone reputable. Agree with that. Another thing is backlinks, which I don't talk enough about backlinks. Let's see. I found that most people never succeed because, yep, exactly. So we're in complete agreement on that. Exactly, yeah. I mean, sometimes you're literally just throwing a freaking dart in the dark and just hoping it ends up sticking to something. And if something sticks, it's like, holy shit, like, let's attack it, right? Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of business, really. There's a lot of stuff out here in business that we're just like, I've got no idea if this is going to work, but, YOLO that shit. Just throw it and hope it sticks to the board at the end of the day. Any business person that tries to tell you otherwise is full of shit. Everyone's had that moment in business where they're just like, I got no idea if this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it. Just, I mean, hell, multiple times a year, as a matter of fact. But what was I gonna mention? Let's see. Yeah, so with the backlinks too, your point of paying somebody, that's actually what the meeting that I have with Chris Palmer tomorrow is about, is the whole backlinks deal. Like, we're not paying him for it necessarily. I'm just going in there, going to be asking some questions about it. He has like a backlink service. He does all sorts of SEO services, of course, but I know that backlinks are another major driver of website traffic in general. And then, you know, I just don't have that many of them. I mean, I have a good like amount, but like, especially compared to a lot of competitors who are, you know, similar size, like 1 to 5 man type of companies, I have quite a few just from all the blog posts and stuff that we've created. It's crazy. Like, you don't think you're really going to get backlinks or anything, but if you come out with enough content, like over time, you just start getting backlinks. But you need to get backlinks to the pages that you actually want to rank. Like, to just get backlinks to, you know, articles and shit, like, it's like, I mean, sure, this is actually one of the questions I'm going to ask him tomorrow with the whole silo structure. Well, I don't even have it written up there anymore. Damn, my eraser decided to go for a little ride, apparently. So I don't even have it written up there, but, like, with the whole silo structure, say I'm getting backlinks to an article that is underneath of, you know, say my service page, right? So you'd have or service location page. So you'd have service location page, and then we'll just say article, for example. Say this article is getting a ton of backlinks. Is that going to help the location page? I believe the answer is no. But who knows? Because like the topical authority helps that page, so why would the backlinks not help that page? That's one of the questions I'm going to ask tomorrow, just to, you know, get some idea from a, you know, expert. He's been in the industry, the SEO industry, for many, many years, and he actually works with a few pest control companies, apparently. I think he's originally from the Northeast, if I recall, and I think he lives in Vegas now. But yeah, I'll definitely have to keep you guys updated on that. Let's see. You gave a good link. You backlinks already, which I did follow through with. Can't remember the name, but they put your link up to 100 website. Oh, let's see. They did a good job for us. You also need to get backlinks from pages with good. Yeah, exactly. That's tricky. Are you talking about SEMrush maybe? In terms of like the citations and all that stuff potentially. There are plenty of companies that put up to 10,000 cookie cutter websites. Yes, and that's the other thing. You don't want to get a bunch of these BS links because they can actually hurt your website. And that's the thing too, is Chris Palmer, like I can just pull it up, like just his general website real quick, the backlink, or not the backlink services. Just give you kind of an idea. So like his backlink services, if I recall, let me get it pulled up here. Local SEO, backlink services. So he actually has different packages for those backlinks where he breaks it all down for you, and some of them actually get very expensive. Like if you're looking for example, 1,000 guest post backlinks for domain authority rankings between 30 and 65, which for our industry is, like we were mentioning earlier, Terminix's domain authority is like 67, and they're like the highest in the industry. So to get domain ranks between 30 to 65, to get 1,000 total links is $9,000. That's a lot. I mean, it's not a lot, it's $9. Like, the more you get, the more you save. Because, you know, say you only got 5 of them, that's $75. So that's, and these are actually just for 30 plus. So if you do, let me see, just trying to give you all a couple of ideas. Because like I said, he's got multiple down here. Let's see, guest post backlinks, pick the site, post your content. For that one, he has like a list of sites for your niche specifically. Submit your content for us to post. Content max 1,200 words, 2 links per post. Let's see, you can pick your domain authority rank on this one. Say, and how many is this? Let me see. I think this is for just one individual. Yeah, so this one you'd pay per site. And then that, if you pick the 70 to 80, it's $50 per backlink. 60 to 69 is $45. 50 to 59 is $40. So it goes down like $5 per, like, as the domain authority drops. And yeah, no, I'm definitely interested. I'm going in, you know, just like I said, with some questions prepared, just to kind of feel it out, get an idea. And if nothing else, you know, try maybe a couple things out on some of our location pages that we really want to rank, because the location pages do the best in terms of local SEO, and also will impact your Google business profile as well. So I'm very interested for sure. Let's see. Backlinks need to be on good. Yep. Can't remember the name. Oh, Bright Local. Yeah, Bright Local will do it too. Yeah. That was for Bright Locals was the citation builder, right? They have the citation builder tool, if I recall. Yeah. And $9 a pop. I'll just ask for the list and go do it myself. Yeah. Well, the thing with, so let me see. These are, let me see. Guest post backlinks. Let's see. Yeah, the thing with getting guest post backlinks is they take so, it's more of a time thing. It takes so much time, like to get backlinks from anything, regardless if it's a, you know, a guest post, just a simple, you know, link within, you know, well, any type of backlink, we'll just put it that way. It is very, very difficult just in terms of the time and effort that it takes. So if you, that's where the SEO expert would come in. And again, for anyone that would be new tuning in, because I saw we just had like 2 or 3 people join. I don't do any type of backlink services, but if you can get in with someone who is well known in the SEO field, they have a lot of connections to a lot, usually like thousands of websites, if not maybe even hundreds, tens or hundreds of thousands of websites. And when he was mentioning in a YouTube video of his different pest control clients that he works with or has worked with or is working with today, whatever the case may be, I was like, oh, so he actually is, you know, he knows our field a little bit. So he probably has connections in our industry as well when it comes to the backlink side of it. So that's the main reason why he is the first one that I've kind of like actually, dare I say, trusted, because of course when it comes to SEO services, there's a lot of con artists. I mean, let's be real, there's a lot of them. Like, just being completely blunt with you all, like if you're seeing this right now live, you're one of the 4 or 5 people watching right now, or you end up seeing this part of the video after it like goes up from a live stream to a video, which since it's over 3 hours long, will probably be like a week with how slow YouTube is about sending a live stream to a video format. But if you're watching this right now, be very, very careful with the SEO company that you pick for your website services. Not even just website services, local SEO services, ads. It doesn't matter. Any type of service, you got to be very, very careful and look through, their entire, portfolio, so to speak. Look them up, do research on them, all that type of stuff. So, yeah, same here. It's 12:12 here, and I got this meeting with him around, I think, 7:30 or 8 a.m. tomorrow. So, same here. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the stream. If you have, just do me a favor and smash that thumbs up button if you haven't already. I see we got about 10 likes already, so I appreciate it so much. And if you're seeing this live, or even after the fact, and you did enjoy the stream tonight, just smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon. That way you won't miss any of the future live streams that we do, as well as any videos. I'm trying to post videos and shorts and stuff like that pretty much every single day for you all, maybe even multiple a day, some days when I have the opportunity to. We talk about business, SEO, our pest control business, growing a pest control business. Just like I said, this channel is all about me just documenting my entrepreneurial journey for you all, and hopefully just inspiring people to, go and get the life that you and your family deserve. But until next time, guys, have a great evening, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream or video.